Josh.
Oh, you were muted just long enough for your sass to not make it on the stream. The stream's gonna start with me going, ah. Hello world. We are back.
Every stream.
This was scheduled on YouTube, but then I couldn't get it to link to the event, so we had some technical difficulties. Sorry we're up a little bit late today, but welcome back to the Forbidden Lands, the Hanging Stones session 19. When last we left our heroes, they are in a mysterious... Aww, what's up, Elric? Our party is in a mysterious dungeon deep beneath the village of Aylesbury. And it seems to be a dungeon full of honey and evil things. The party just defeated a swarm of bees and then triggered... Should I call it a trap? I don't know. They woke up some zombies that breathed poison gas in the room.
I feel like that's a trap.
Yeah, that's a trap. It's a tarp.
It's a tarp.
It's a tarp. And we had a failed saving throw, quote unquote, and Grunralk is running around having hallucinations.
Oh my god, I forgot that was happening.
Yeah, we ended on Grunralk being... So we have one person not in control of his character because he's running around freaking out from the poison, and we have another character, Ralgar, who is low-key not in control of his character because he's also suffering some milder hallucinations from... Well, I won't say what it's from, but you know what it's from. From drinking honey from the... strange bee fountain that we have down
Why
here.
did that have to be such a mystery?
It doesn't have to be a mystery.
I'm not going to tell you what it's from.
It's the literal only thing you can...
Look, I never... There was a delay. You drank
the bee queen.
You drank the honey. The
Here,
bee queen.
if you want to watch, you better watch last week's episode.
You wish you got with the bee queen. No, you drank the honey, and then like 20 minutes later, I was like, make a Constitution save. Not in those words.
The Wolfman
There's no Constitution in this
slept with
game,
the bee queen, and now he has HIV.
Oh, AIDS jokes. This is gonna be a great stream right here.
It was either the queen or hepatitis B.
But
We can fix that in post.
I'm gonna need a moment. Oh, Lord. Edit for content in post, it's fine. So now
you just can't swear in the first something minutes in YouTube.
hepatitis B. Such a good B pun. All right. Moving on. So yeah, we are deep in the dark dungeon. I'm gonna have a moment here that I'm gonna have to edit out later because I gotta shuffle with getting my chat window visible and stuff and getting the audio going. So one moment, please. If you're watching live,
This is where Aimee would talk about how great Sirenscape is.
Aimee, do the thing.
Sound effects.
We need you, Aimee.
From Sirenscape. That's okay. I already did it. She's not here.
Free, and it's awesome.
They also have paid subscription tiers, which give you access to lots of other cool sounds. I actually like it. I use it for my in-person games, just for quick sound effects. It's a whole lot better than trying to make glass shattering effects with my mouth because I don't have that kind of talent. I barely have the talent to make just Bard having conversation noises.
There we go.
sorry, everybody. She had a phone call right at the advertisement time. Thank you, Bill.
Always all good.
Sirenscape.co.uk/TWG for 20% off.
Don't do that.
That's not real.
Don't do that until we actually get that.
It's okay. I'm sending them to .co.uk. Everything's allowed there.
There we go. All right.
Well, yeah, that's how that works.
No.
It is. Yeah, that's how that works.
All right. This is a professional production, people. Totally a professional production. All right. Let's do it. So, when last we left our heroes, we are deep in the bee dungeon, and Grunralk is running around. Let's have Grunralk kick us off. Grunralk, you're hallucinating because of poisonous gas that was breathed out by the zombies in this chamber. Let's what sound is coming out of your mouth right now?
Peace. Peace.
Should somebody check on him?
Yeah. I mean, I would chase Grunrock out of the room to try and keep him from running further into the dungeon for sure.
There we go.
Just like try and calm him down. Like, it's okay, buddy. Like, just take a seat. The bees aren't gonna hurt you.
He
Going
lied.
to point at him and scream because I'm seeing a giant bee.
It's okay. Bees aren't real with just like 2 huge bug eyes.
Oh yeah, so we tried to. This was a stat break scenario, right? You ran out of a particular stat, and then Bill was trying
his
to.
empathy broke.
It was an empathy break. Okay, so this isn't.
We have to wait a quarter day.
Right. This isn't full on hallucination. This is the poison gas getting into your head and making you kind of catatonic and depressed, and you're getting weird visions out of the corner of your eyes and things. And Vergello tried to snap you out of it with his music, failed to do so. And now you're kind of locked into it for a quarter day because I don't think anybody else has anything they can attempt to help you with it. So.
I would need willpower to actually fix it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not allowed to get willpower.
You're not allowed to get willpower because fun is not allowed in the Forbidden Lands. This is a game about suffering and about not having the resources you need to do the things that you do that are fun.
Oh, well, it's
But
good
there's
to
a
know
lot
we've been
of
playing
really
correctly
cool
then.
systems that, can you remind me what my status effect is so that
Yeah.
I can...
You are suffering from hallucinations from the honey that cause you to not be able to. You have to push every roll, I believe.
but I can't get any willpower.
But you can't get any willpower as a result.
That's what it is.
And you're not sure of the duration of the effect. All you know is that it's happening to you.
Does that mean I have to push successful rolls as well? So I succeed, but no, you have to push.
It's called poor risk assessment. And what was your question?
If I succeed on a roll on my first roll, due to this status effect, I still have to push that because that's the
wording.
going on in the Brainy Boo.
And I'm only the DM, so if the book says that you suffer, then you suffer. The PC must push all skill rolls even when there's no benefit to doing so, and gains no willpower when doing so. It's the worst possible. It's the worst possible interpretation of that rule. Yeah, it's you have to push everything, and you don't get willpower till further notice.
Okay. That
so
doesn't
we have
mean
to...
I have to do stupid things, though.
You could roleplay it, but whenever your character has to make a roll for something, you do it in an extra risky way and try as hard as you can with no thought to the consequences, is what it means.
Cool.
Now, I think we left off in that room with, as Grunrock was running out, like someone was taking the other buttons.
Oh, right.
The emblems or whatever.
Yeah. So there's pins on the mouths of each of the zombies. I think you pulled one off. The zombies all belched out a cloud of poison gas.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
If I'd have heard they were on the mouths, which you said, I just wasn't listening, I would not have pulled them.
It was the mouths or the throats. I did say what it was.
I just thought it was like a brooch on their shirt.
That's what I thought at first, but I actually went back and listened. I think he says like throat or something. But I was thinking it was like
throats.
It's
on the
said, like,
throats.
on their neck, and so I thought originally like brooch like that, but then later he said throat.
It's bronze clasps on each of their throats, shaped like toads, each with prominent quartz warts all over the top.
Okay, I still would have pulled it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean that tracks.
I'm gonna
with poor risk
grab
assessment.
Velas's hands though, and I'm just gonna say, "We have to get out of here," and try to pull her out of the room with me.
Okay.
Back the way we came from.
Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming everybody vacated that room when the poison clouds went up, so you can move yourselves out of it, and we'll go from there.
All right. I mean, if we have to take a quarter day, I would try and like lead Grunrock into the hive room, where the big beehive was, and wait out a quarter day for him to like actually properly rest.
Okay.
So our plan is not to try to subdue him or anything. It's just to let him have 8 hours in this room
I have.
Hold on. He doesn't need to be subdued. However he's role-playing it, the rules say that his empathy is broken, and so he either resorts to violence in a situation or starts smashing things or otherwise becomes catatonic or uncooperative. So Grunwalk, his brain is fried by what he just got exposed to, but he's not going on a rampage trying to die, and he's not going out trying to murder somebody. He's just stormed out and uncooperative for the next quarter day. And so
he just needs to rest.
Yeah, you can get him out of here. He's not going to go on a suicide mission and seek out something to kill him. He's still aware of his surroundings, but he is not in control of his character, and his character is incapable of making productive decisions right now. He can roleplay that how he wants.
Okay.
So almost no different than normal.
Yeah, basically all normal.
I'm holding Velas's hand in one paw, and when we bust into the central chamber, I'm just gonna yell to Vergello, Vergello, we should get out of here. We need to come up with a better plan. This is not working.
I feel like we did so much wrong in just the last 10 minutes. Let's just head up the stairs and try and take a break and regroup.
Yes, I agree with that. Come on, Velas. Can you get the little man?
I will try my best. Come on, Grunrock. Let's leave the beehive domain.
Touch me and I'll eat your pinky.
I'm keeping my hands far away from you. Let's just move in this direction right over here. Follow the Wolfman.
I don't know what the point is. We're all gonna die anyway.
God, we're 30 minutes into this
Let's just
session. I've
do
been
it
broken
up the
twice
stairs
already.
in that direction.
Fine.
Hepatitis B and I'll eat your pinky have both broken me already. All right, I'm moving Velas out of here and out. So everybody's going up and out of the staircase,
Yeah.
right? All right. When we re-enter, everybody's gonna have to make torch rolls again. Just FYI.
Okay. That's fine. I think we did.
I clarified on the rules for the torch thing. It's different for torches, food, water, ammo, etc. But for torches specifically, it's roughly broken into 15-minute turn length segments where you have to reroll for the torches. So if you spend a lot of time searching, or if you leave and come back, or if you do anything time consuming, like you stop to rest and like fix your gear or something, if you basically anytime you pause to do anything time consuming, it's another torch roll. So leaving and coming back to regroup and stuff, it'll be a torch roll when you re-enter.
Yeah. I mean, we're also waiting like a quarter day, so
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure, Z's then. Okay, so everybody is
Out of the dungeon.
out of the dungeon.
Question about our upcoming quarter day wait for our goblin friend to regain his empathy.
Yes.
Are we allowed to make rolls for talents to try and learn new talents?
If you're not doing anything else during that quarter day. Let me kick us to the exploration tab here.
I think we should head back to town.
That was daytime, so if we wait a quarter day, it's going to be evening. Do you want to wait in the woods outside the dungeon, or do you want to go back to town? What do you want to do?
Let's go back to town. I want to take a nap in our super cozy room that we are getting for free for a week.
Are we, if we head back to town to rest there, are we still able to make our rolls? This dungeon was like 10 minutes away or something?
Yeah, we don't need to count minutes. So, your action for the daytime quarter day is that you are exploring an adventure site, but then you bailed on that, went back, and so now you have the evening in town to do whatever you want.
Okay. Then yeah, let's head back to town. We could rest in the inn that we get to rest in for free.
All right. Lynn and Dahlia are still safely in the tavern. They have not gotten into trouble. Though Dahlia seems like she's been drinking quite a lot today. And the four of you go back to the inn. I'm just going to put everybody in other unless you have specific things you want to do.
I'm rolling for a talent.
Yeah, go for it.
Am I allowed to choose to do anything, or am I just kind of like...
I think you have to rest. Isn't that the... Is it rest for a quarter day to recover?
Yeah. Well, the effect that he is under lasts for a quarter day, which means I'm going to rule that what it means in this circumstance is that you can return to the dungeon in the evening if you want to, which during the springtime is dark. So you'll be going 10 minutes out into the woods in the dark, which is not necessarily...
But his
not necessarily a problem, but it will be dark.
He was poisoned, so he had an empathy break.
Yes. He needs
I'm not
to
looking to head back to the dungeon today.
No, we should head back in the morning.
A week of lodging.
All right.
Yeah,
He can
we can head
spend.
back in the morning.
He can spend the evening recovering his empathy with a rest action. Rest or sleep. They're interchangeable. The way that they're separated in the rules is very strange. They kind of both do the same thing. I think they should be merged into one thing. I'm not sure why they're separated in the rules. It says that sleeping allows you to perform a rest action and must be done once per day in order for you to not be tired. And so it's like, technically sleep is a rest plus it checks your box for that day of not being exhausted. I don't know why they're separate things in the rules. I put that little arrow between them because they're kind of interchangeable. So,
Yes.
nice. All right. So you learned a new talent, spent some XPs.
I learn a thing. Sharpshooter.
What does everybody else want to do during the evening? Does anybody have actions they want to take, or do we advance into nighttime?
I want to see... Oh, go ahead, Ames.
I was just going to ask, is this the same day that I talked to good old what's-his-face?
Yes.
Winchell?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Shut. Well, then, I guess I don't have anything.
Okay.
Why would you want to talk to him again?
I want to go see the witch.
Oh, the witch. Okay. Sorry, I
comes
thought you meant the guy whose house you blew a hole out of the side of.
No. This is, I'm talking about, like, the Winchell is the Marigold's son who's there.
Yeah.
Although.
Okay.
Sorry. On, by the way.
Barring any other actions, we will...
I want to see if there's any way for me to craft an antidote.
Antidote to what?
To what is afflicting either me, or see if I can craft a antidote for the gas.
Okay.
Because I've got the poisoner skill and I have a good crafting skill, but I don't know how to use either of those.
Okay.
So,
well, the poisoner skill can be used to create the poisons in the
Antidote.
core book, I believe. Does it say you can create antidotes with it as well?
it says, yeah, can use crafting skill to concoct poisons and antidotes. Page 186 for raw materials.
Let me check what it
Poison
says.
increases by 1 per every extra roll.
If you drink an antidote, hold on, I had it and then I skipped past it. If you drink an antidote in time, the effect of the poison is halted. So an antidote to a particular poison can be consumed while affected by that poison, and it stops the poison doing its thing.
Yeah. I want to try to like stock myself up with some antidotes for that gas that got us.
Yeah. Okay.
And if I need to draw some blood out of Grunrog, then, you know, I'll ask him politely.
Okay. Antidote costs the base price to craft. Okay. An antidote to a hallucinogenic poison costs 4 silver base to purchase.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you don't need. Oh, okay, to purchase. All right. I was gonna say to craft. I'm like, we don't need to talk about this anymore.
You can use the crafting skill to concoct poisons and antidotes. See the table on page 186 for the required raw materials. 186 says hallucinogenic poison / antidote. You need 1 unit of herbs, a quarter day, a cauldron, and a fire. Okay. And that's it. So with 1 unit of herbs, you can craft an antidote to a hallucinogenic poison.
Cool. I would like to talk to Velas And I'm assuming Velas is with us because we dragged her back to town with us.
I mean, I didn't hang out.
Velas gets off the phone in the middle of the dungeon, like, all right, guys, where did everyone go?
Hello?
We are back at the tavern. We dragged you with us.
And 1 unit of herbs costs 2 silver. If you want to purchase it.
Herbs? Okay, is that something you can find from foraging?
The DM should say yes.
This is actually something that just came up in the new expansion book that came out. That's why I'm hesitating. I believe the new expansion book added options for foraging for herbs. I think this is specifically something that wasn't in the core rules, and they were like, we need this to be in there. So give me a sec to search for it.
Because, I mean, I could also see the, like...
It's a book that just came out in the last, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
On PDF.
I mean, we found herbs in the wild for the first time, but now most herbs are grown in, intentionally grown.
Well, or
Sorcerers,
intentionally stolen.
druids.
Well, I mean, intentionally grown, but that's probably where you.
That's why I
can
need to talk to Velas.
But that's why you can also buy them, though, right?
Yeah.
I imagine that's other people who forge them or grows them, and you can pay 2 silver for it, or you can forage it for it, if the rulebook says that.
Okay, while Josh is looking, Ralgar is going to pull Velas aside to a quiet corner of the tavern. I'm just I'm yanking at you, I'm pawing at you, trying to get you to Velas. Come on. No, come on.
There is a
Oh.
with the herbalist talent, you can forage for herbs instead of vegetables, taking the same amount of time. The herbalist talent is a prerequisite for doing so and adds no bonus to the roll other than the option to search for herbs. So, with the herbalist talent, you can use a forage action and say, I'm searching for herbs rather than vegetables, and find herbs. Otherwise, you have to purchase them and use them.
Okay. Chat, I apologize for asking stupid questions and wasting our time. So, how do I go about learning that talent?
Spending experience points.
Yeah, so you can spend 3. It's just the general talent. You can spend for the first level. It's 3 XP, and you have to make a wits roll, any success on a wits roll, and you learn the talent. It takes a quarter day, and you learn the talent.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just for rank 1.
First, I just want to have a little conversation with Velas, and then I'm going to try to learn a talent.
Cool.
Okay. So I pawed you into the corner.
Get off! What?
No, Velas. I need to ask a favor of you, and it is something that I could not do myself, because I don't know how to sneak.
What you need, buddy?
Well, do you think you could try to steal some herbs for me? I need some herbs.
I mean, I can certainly try. Have you seen anyone here who grows herbs, preferably?
Oh, no, I haven't. I was actually going to ask you if you could do that part as well.
Okay. So I need to find someone who grows or sells herbs, and then steal them.
Yes, because from what I've seen in the past, they cost a lot of money, and we don't have very much money. But if I can get some herbs, I can make us antidotes, so when we go back, that poison gas won't hurt us.
I like the thought of things not hurting. Can you just maybe, describe what I'm looking for? I mean, all herbs kind of look the same. One time I put cilantro instead of parsley, and changes the way things taste, for sure.
Soapy. No. The ones I think that we need for this antidote are the ones that you'll find the most bees flying around. The bees are attracted to these herbs in town. So if you see little green leaves with bees flying around them, but not touching them, it's the herb that I need.
Yeah, I think I can do that.
You think that Garst the Forester had various herbs on shelves in jars inside his house? The guy whose house you blew a hole in the side of?
Were they on the wall that got blown up?
You'd have to go look. You weren't paying close enough attention to herbs on the walls to know if he has what you need.
Cool.
Get as much as you can.
Sounds
but-
good.
Don't piss everybody off.
Well,
No promises.
yeah.
Better to kill them than to make them angry, right?
Oh,
No?
no.
No. Oh, that was a joke.
Just because I'm good at killing things doesn't mean that's like the goal I seek out. Like
You are good at killing.
that's clear, right?
Yes.
You guys don't think
Yes.
I'm like a mindless killing sociopath?
No.
That's
No,
not.
You just
I'm,
have.
I'm gonna.
You just
you know,
have a.
I'm gonna
This
leave.
has been a good talk.
I'm gonna just walk out. And I'm going to make my way to the center bee statue in the middle of town.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll for herbalist while she does that. So it's just wits, right?
Yep.
Yeah, just a wits roll.
The only consequence to failing is that you waste the quarter day and don't get to do the thing.
Oh, don't worry. I have to push it.
You can't push it.
Can't push willpower rolls. Or rolls.
Wits
for it.
rolls.
Wits
Wits rolls.
Wits
Um,
rolls.
I'm going to go over to the shrine. I'm gonna pull out a dagger and just kind of like slice the inside of my hand and drip a little bit of blood into the bee thing
Okay.
and just kind of like squeeze it
Oh fuck.
and just be like, well,
Take a point of damage to strength.
please don't fucking get me stung by bee.
The
Not
blood,
very-
when it hits the idol and the little offering plate at the base, goes. Which, as you might imagine, is unusual.
Cool. That's what happened when I did it at the last shrine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it checks with me. Like I don't worship any gods. Okay. I'm gonna start making my way to Garst. It's evening, not night, so it should be dark-ish,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm going to make my way towards like some alleys and try and like sneak up to Garst's house. I'm gonna check the back of his house for like a garden before I try and sneak into his house.
Okay.
Stealth roll.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm trying to be sneaky.
Mm-hmm. Triple success. You are the knight itself.
Are there any herbs that kind of meet that? Do I see bees flying around but not touching any plants in his backyard?
He doesn't have an herb garden in his yard.
Cool. I'm gonna sneak around, kind of inch around to like where the giant. Is there a window in the back of the house?
There's a big ass hole in the side of the house.
There
That's the
is.
front of the house.
There's a big ass hole with a big wood board kind of leaned against it.
I'm just gonna try and peer inside.
You can hear
see if I
loud snoring from inside.
Oh, perfect. Well, then I'll make my way inside.
Okay.
Sneakily. And preferably keep that 3 success stealth if you'll let me.
Maybe. So you're trying to go in via what route? The hole in the wall, the back door, the front door? Those are kind of the 3 entryways.
The hole in the wall's at the front of the house, right?
It's on the side. You have the front
okay.
door on the front, the hole in the wall on the side, and the back door on the back.
Go through the side. Did I notice anyone walking around outside when I was out there earlier?
No.
I'll just go through the giant.
There are town guards here, and they appear lightly armed and not particularly vigilant. This is a pretty isolated village. It doesn't even have a palisade wall around it. This looks like a place that has not been particularly involved in conflict because they rely on just being in a remote place.
I go through the giant hole in the wall then.
All right. The hole in the wall has a board lightly leaned against it. You can see just a tiny bit of flickering light coming through the gaps around it. You can gingerly try to move it aside.
Sorry, I was picturing like a giant, like really long 2x4. I'm gonna try the back door to see if it's unlocked first.
It's unlocked.
Okay, I'm gonna go through the back door.
Okay.
There's a 2x4 leaning up against it. What's with all these boards? It's like a construction site.
Right
oh yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. You test the handle. It is open. Slowly open it. There's loud snoring coming from beyond.
I'm gonna
Beyond the grave? That's what
just
the
kinda
audio
like-
sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna look around on the floor and make sure he didn't set any traps. And if I do not see any, then I will proceed.
Okay.
I'm hoping that this drunk guy just didn't think to set traps.
There's that audio better. All right. Yeah. You step into his house and you see him just out on the bed, snoring loudly. He's passed out. There are empty bottles, multiple of them, strewn about the bed around him. And he is snoring, and he's sleeping in some awkward diagonal, face-down position.
Yo. I'm just gonna kind of like, in whatever shadow that this like minimal lamp is providing, just kind of like peering around, like, do I see anything from the darkness?
Yeah, you see herbs on shelves. There's a small fire flickering in the fireplace, casting a pale light across the entire room. And on shelves around the borders of the room, you see jars with various collected herbs in them. You scan around and you see something matching Ralgar's description. I know all he said was green leaves, no bees, but he probably gave you more to go on than that.
I mean, I would hope so, and I would think so.
He's an herbalist after all. No, he's not.
You see a jar of herbs, and then there's a jar of bees that's really far away from it that's not going near.
Oh
it.
yeah, that's definitely the one you want right there. No, he described the leaves and the shape and the color, and you see something matching the description of what he said.
I'm gonna try and quietly go up, kind of glance at the bottle. I don't think that it would be trapped, and I'm just gonna.
Yep, snatching it off the shelf and getting out constitutes another stealth roll.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
So he's rolling no dice because he's asleep and drunk. However, if you get no successes, he will wake up and hear you.
Success.
You're in and out. You've got the jar of herbs.
Was there any? No, I'm not gonna rob this guy whose
No.
house I just destroyed.
There's 1d3 units of the herb you want.
How many?
1d3.
All right. /R 1d3 2. I'm just gonna grab the whole ass bottle of 2 herbs.
You get 2 units of herbs of the sort needed to make an antidote to hallucinogenic poison.
And I'm just gonna like right back out the back door, close it, slide it in my backpack, and then just. I'm actually probably gonna loop back around the direction I came,
Okay.
and like, so it looks like I walked into an alley and I'm coming out of the same one.
All right.
And I'll walk back around the front.
There's not really alleys because this is a small village with the buildings fairly spaced out, but there's also no guards paying very close attention because when's the last time somebody got robbed in this town? Not very recently.
But
Maybe they'll change their policy after this one.
I'm gonna go to Ralgar. Are you trying to brew this potion in our private room that we have, or are you just at a table in the bar?
no, we're gonna do this in the private room. I'm assuming there's a fireplace in there.
There's not a fireplace in your
wow,
private room.
Look at this fireplace in our private. Oh, damn it!
Ralgar, are you gonna be able to make this potion without the herbs in Grunrock's backpack? You really need to go back to the private room to get the herbs. How could you be so forgetful?
Of course. I think we should just. I will sneak away and build a fire in the woods and make this there. I do not want people seeing that we have these herbs.
I mean, they're just. If that's what you want to do, okay.
It's only a matter of time until someone says, "Oh, someone stole burp because he's drunk my herbs," and we do not want to be accused of that.
Fair enough, I guess. It's now nighttime and we need to sleep.
Say, are you doing this in the morning?
I'm going to bed.
For now, I'm going to bed. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could always just do this at the dungeon entrance.
Sounds good to me.
Crafting the antidote will take a quarter day, which if you do it outside of town will prompt a chance of an encounter roll. It's not likely, but it could happen.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Let's sleep for now.
Yeah.
All right. Nighttime. Go sleep. Everybody sleep. I'm gonna assume everybody sleeps unless I hear otherwise in the next 10 seconds.
You need to push to talk.
I'm gonna keep watch because I slept during the evening.
You're keeping watch. You're all staying in an inn. Are you keeping watch in the inn to make sure nobody messes with your party in their room?
Correct.
All right. Go ahead and... Well, no. You're good. No rolls necessary. Everybody else sleeps. Boom. We go to morning. Let's get food and water rolls unless people want to pay for good food at the inn.
Didn't they say? I thought he said our food was comped.
Oh, yep, it is. No food rolls, no water rolls. And
Algar knows hospitality.
yeah, the locals like you, even though you're robbing their forester. And you...
Yeah, but they don't want the forester.
True. Right, it's morning time. What would the party like to do? Dahlia asks for an update on how things went yesterday.
Oh, Dahlia. It was unbelievable.
What does that mean?
It was...
Sick ass bee statue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I also have this medical kit that's worth a lot of money, too.
I almost ate part of Vergello's hand.
He did do that, but it's not the first time. It's just the first time he did it when he wasn't sleeping.
She opens up the medical kit, looks at it, and her eyebrows retreat to the back of her head. She's like, that looks like a bag of treasure to me.
It does, but it's also very valuable as, like, medical equipment if we need to heal someone.
You know what else looks like a big old bag of treasure? I'm just gonna pull this heavy bee statue out of my backpack and set it on the bed. This sick ass bee.
What is it made out of? Do we have any idea?
It's like amber, I think is what
It's
he said.
amber with onyx inlay, yellow and black. Bees, baby! It is a big amber statuette. That thing looks... It's made of a semi-precious gemstone, but it's big. So it's probably quite valuable.
We're gonna.
Question is, should we not sell it in this town?
Oh, not at all.
I do not think anybody in this town can afford any of the treasures we have. That amazing statue, your amazing medical kit, my silver candelabra,
And my hat full of shiny rocks.
and that too. Here's the thing, though. I mean, okay, before we met, I did not lead a particularly comfortable life. But since we've met, we have spent all of our nights sleeping on the ground, in the rain, in the woods, in the dank woods. We've got 6 nights paid for here with food and cozy beds. Maybe we should spend a few days here just hunting and sleeping and taking naps and then go back to that dungeon. I just do not think we need to rush anymore. We're kind of cozy here.
At least not for the week. You're right.
Dahlia says, naps! Naps! Have you seen this girl? She gestures back to the common room where the girl is sleeping in the corner next to the fireplace. You think we have time for naps? We've got a ticking bomb with us.
Oh, yeah. Someone cut off some of her hair and go put it in the thingy.
I am not cutting off that girl's hair. I do not want to be turned into a pile of worms or a flaming bonfire. I am not going near her with a pair of scissors.
I'll do it.
Yes, you are the bravest of us.
I can also do it.
Maybe we should just let the goblin do it. The last thing I want is our fantastic assassin to slip cutting someone's hair and stab someone in the throat.
You can do it without her waking up if you make a stealth roll.
and dice, but go ahead, Goblin. I'm gonna laugh if you also roll 7 dice. Ha!
Snip,
Dice.
you're in and out. You do it with the scimitar. You pull her hair up. You now have a fistful of her hair. Her hair's gonna look heinous. You just gave her a goblin haircut. But
You were just supposed to take like.
She looks just like my little sister now.
Grunrock, why did you cut off so much? You
have a
only needed
sister?
to take one piece.
I figured if I dumped more in there, it'd be longer before we had to cut it again.
I do not know if that's how it works or not, so that's fair.
I don't.
Aren't we so
I don't
glad?
think any of us know how any of this works.
I mean,
a goblin.
fingernails off too. If that helps.
Ooh, no. Ugh.
A goblin gave her a haircut using a scimitar with skulls all over it. It's not gonna be a perfectly delicate straight cut. He's taking a chunk and walking away. She's gonna notice.
I don't know what her hair looks like. I'm going based off the little circle here, but I would just grab one of the pigtails and just shink.
Yeah, you cut a chunk off of a side. You've got a fistful of hair.
I'm gonna go with you out to the altar and just pinch some fur off of my shoulder and drop it in there too.
It all sizzles a bit when it hits the altar.
Does anyone else need to make offerings?
I'll
So
find
far,
a
the wigs
wiggly
haven't bothered
tooth,
me.
yank it
So
out and throw it in the altar.
I should be set.
Okay. All right. In that case, I can spend today. Fuck it. We'll just do it over the fire in the inn. Why not? And I'll try to roll some antidotes here.
All right.
I'm gonna take a walk.
All right, you take a walk. Ralgar, you make a crafting roll. Wait, did
This
you
is
do that herbalist thing last night? Or no?
I tried, but I failed.
You tried and failed. Okay.
The herbalist thing again this quarter day?
Oh, wait, poisoner is the one you need to craft. So, yeah, you make a crafting roll.
yeah.
And if you succeed, then you're able to convert this into antidote.
hey,
Oh my god!
I believe extra
what-
successes is extra potency when you're crafting poisons, but when you're crafting antidotes, the extra successes do nothing. But
Let's
with
just say
three
maybe 4
successes,
antidotes.
I will say that you can convert both units of herbs into antidotes, so you can have 2 units of antidote if you like.
yay! I'm rolling for another talent for this
Okay.
quarter day since we have to wait a quarter day.
Sounds good.
I'm going for a walk.
Double success.
Okay, Grunrock
I'm
doing
just
anything in the
putting all
morning
cheap
or no?
talents
Is Grunrock doing anything in the morning or no?
Grunrock's thinking.
Okay.
Grunrock, are you being sneaky when you walk?
Now I'm gonna go see a witch. You wanna come?
I'm gonna follow her.
Okay. The DM life.
Oh my god.
I'll go back to my
watermelon
notes.
with soju.
All right.
Ignore that.
All right. The two of you hike up the hill and down the winding dirt path outside of town and towards the hut of the old witch, who you've heard referred to as an oracle at least one time. And you make your way up to the little hut. You see wisps of smoke rising from it. It's got a little fence around it, a little garden inside of the fence, and it is a tiny isolated hut at the end of a dirt path outside of town. The shutters are all still tightly shut. The gate leading to the house is closed, and there's now just burned black ash in the offering dish that sits outside of the fence gate where Valas came yesterday and burned that carcass.
Sweet. Well, I'm gonna walk through the gate. Knock on the door.
Bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang. Knock, knock, knock. I'm not beating on it.
Fine. Knock, knock, not bang, bang.
Winchell.
The door clicks and opens. It is dark inside, and there appears to be no one who opened the door. The door just opens itself, and you're staring into the inside of a dark cabin.
What do you see inside this cabin? Look with your big eyes.
Grunrock, with his goblin eyes, sees into the darkness of the cabin with all of the windows shuttered and sees an old lady with a wrap around her face. She looks like an old blind lady, potentially, with like cloth wrapped around her eyes and face. She looks very, very old. Her knuckles are all knobbly and she's all wrinkly, and she has just little wisps of white hair sticking out in random directions. She looks old and decrepit, and she's holding a long, gnarled wooden stick, and she's staring into the embers of a fire that has mostly burned out and poking them a little bit with a stick that has a charred end. And you see this, Velas does not, and the old lady says, "Come in."
See the lady, or you just hear her?
He sees her, you don't.
Oh, no, I was just asking. Oh, sorry, I was real quick.
It's an old blind lady. Is this lady named Winchell?
No. This is the witch, remember? And I'm just going to pull her back a little. On the walk up here, I told Grunrock that not here right now in front of the house. But on the walk up here, I told him that this witch was supposed to be really mean and we needed to be really nice. And I'm just going to walk inside.
I think I smell goblins.
Just one.
I'll walk inside as well.
Hello. Mind if I ask you a question? I know that you were coming today, and I know that you're not here very often. But I thought someone with as much knowledge and wisdom as yourself would be a good person to have a chance to speak to. Do you mind?
I am here to answer questions.
Awesome.
Come in. Close the door. It's drafty.
Turn around and just kind of like point at it to Grunrock.
I'll pull the door closed.
And I'm gonna walk in. Is there a place to sit down near the witch?
There are chairs, yeah.
I'm gonna have a...
None of them are facing her or close to her. She's sitting alone by the fire in a very cushy chair.
I will pick up a chair and take it over to the fire and set it down and have a seat. My question... How familiar are you with, channeling Chermog magic?
Chermog?
Mm-hmm.
What a question to start things off. You did make a fine offering, so...
Oh, technically that offering was from Darst for the village. If I need to make a separate offering for myself, I can. I don't want to take credit.
Are you not a part of the village?
I'm more of a traveler.
Oh, what is your name, traveler?
What is your name?
That is a strange answer.
Well, I just grew up hearing that names have power, so you shouldn't give your name unless someone else is willing to give theirs. So let's just call each other friend. How about that?
She grins a little bit and continues to poke at the embers of the fire with her old walking stick. And she says, "My name is Lady Tasia."
Like that to see if she's lying to me.
Yeah.
I mean, she might be being truthful, and this might be a game where names don't have power, but I don't like to play those games. I like to play those games.
Roll the dice.
Dice roll, 1 success.
Okay, 1 sec. All right. You believe she's being truthful.
My name is Velas.
You detect no deception, is what I should say.
Yeah. My name is Velas.
Velas. Are you an elf?
I have indeed.
Fascinating. Long has it been since an elf paid old Tassia a visit?
Oh, that's a shame.
Is it?
Well, I assumed most. I shouldn't have assumed. Some elves are assholes, so maybe not. Hopefully, you don't think I am by the time it's time for me to go.
What brings you here? Oh, you asked her about Chermog. So she says that the realm of Chermog underlies our very reality. It is a place of darkness and chaos where demonic beings dwell, and to call forth its powers is to invite chaotic energies into the world, and only those mad or with a thirst for destruction would ever consider such a thing. And as she's talking, the fires are just like spewing embers up the chimney. Seems like the more vigorously she talks, the more the fires kind of get spinning and churning.
As it gets big, I'm just gonna kind of like glance around the cabin. Like, are there doors? Are there windows? And do I see Winchell?
There's no door besides the front. You don't see Winchell, and there are windows, but they are shuttered in all four faces of the house.
And some people enjoy chaos. I myself personally enjoy some liberties, though I do not channel Chermog. Some people seek out magic and power.
Of course.
And some people are unfortunately thrust into magic and power. And it's not always suitable for their bodies, nor do they have a way to control it. Do you know any way to remove Chermog from a person?
I am afraid the corruption of Chermog is quite irreversible. Once exposed, a body cannot be purified by any means, barring perhaps the most remote and experimental magics.
Is there a way to channel it? Right now,
Do you wish to tap into this power?
More so, I don't like the power exploding around me. Is there a way to channel it, like through a wand or a phrase?
You possess this power and you wish to control it. Is that so?
Not myself, but someone I know. And they're having a very hard time doing things that they wish that they wouldn't, and that are sometimes quite harmful and make life a little difficult. We're talking like can blow up entire forests.
I see. I'm afraid that there are very few practitioners of this demonic magic in our world, but if you wish to seek an authority on such things, you would have to seek out perhaps the Rust Prince Cartorda, chieftain of the Iron Guard, or perhaps the great Lord Zytera himself, who is himself the greatest master of the magic of Chermog in all the land. You do not like this answer. Are you no friend of Zytera? Or of the Rust Brothers?
I would say that the Rust Brothers do not have many friends. In general.
They don't need friends. They have powers beyond your imagining at their disposal. They serve at the behest of Zytera, you know, and he is the commander and lord of the Holdfast of Vond, the mightiest of fortresses, and a master of dark magics. What friends do they need? They've the power to conquer the very world.
DM question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The person in Amber's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 3 names written here. I've got Zygofer, Zytera, and Zertorm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to Zytera is the Dark One, the Prophet of Horn. Zertorm was supposed to stand up for him, and Zertorm is Zygofer's son? Or who is the father and who's the son? Zygofer or Zertorm?
You have heard rumors that Zertorm was the son of Zygofer.
And they're all 3 different from Zytera.
You don't really know.
Oh, okay, cool.
You could try asking this lady.
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask her. Why not? Well, I've met Zertorm in Amber's Peak.
Mm-hmm. You are well-traveled. Elf?
I mean, I told you, I like to travel. I'm not convinced Zertorm's not Zygofer. And, I had hoped that I wouldn't leave here making you think that all elves are assholes. But, he might think that right now.
What would you like to know?
Well, do you know off the top of your head, is the person in Amber's Peak Zygofer or Zertorm? That's more of just like a personal curiosity.
Zygofer the Whisperer was a mighty conqueror, and they say that Zertorm is his son, who opposes him to the very grave. That the 2 are mortal enemies after the son's betrayal of the father. And the father, lives on, and he is now called Zytera after his transformation. Do you not know the tale of Zytera?
I do not. Would you like to tell me? Listen, I love a good story. I'm
gonna go AFK for this 3-hour story. I'll be right back.
It's okay. The witch is just gonna share a Wikipedia page.
No.
A Wikipedia page. Come on, man, it was right there.
Zygofer the Whisperer was a powerful sorcerer who became corrupted by the power of Chermog, and he had several children. One of them, Zertorm, who betrayed and opposes him, but also he had a daughter named Therania, who was herself a talented sorceress, and in order to prolong his life, he underwent a dark and terrible ritual which merged his body with that of his daughter and of a spider demon of the realm of Chermog, and the 3 merged into a new being, a god walking upon the earth itself, whose name is Zytera. Father, daughter, and demon all are one, and they rule from the holdfast of Vond in the southwest. Have you not heard this tale?
I have not, and I am fascinated. Please go on.
I'm afraid I do not know much more, other than the Rust brothers hail this Zytera as a god, that it walks with the body of a spider, but upon it the torsos of the father and daughter, united in one, that they take turns being awake, and that the Rust brothers will obey their very orders because they believe this spider-demon amalgamation to be the walking prophet of their god.
The Rust brothers served Rust.
Of course.
Oh, they just have multiple gods?
They believe this Zytera is the prophet of their god given flesh, that it will lead them to an age of dominion over the entire world.
Well, that's not great. And they're in the southwest. I don't suppose that... Surely, for, curiosity's sake, surely they're really far from Lake Varda, right?
Who?
Not close to them at all.
Who are you asking about?
Zytera.
Zytera.
Is he near Lake Varda?
Lake Varda lies between you and a great forest. Okay. She says that beyond Lake Varda there is a great forest, and that beyond that great forest there are the Harga Plains, and that if you travel across the Harga Plains, which are now a wasteland devastated by the demon flood and the Alder Wars, that you will reach the Holdfast of Vond, and that is where Zyterra resides. We're talking journey beyond journey.
I just love that you went from Josh into like half witch and back up into Josh. There.
I'm trying to narrate, but it's hard to stay in character while also backing up to explain things that your characters know.
Listen, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to take it all in.
That's why you got to get the Clip Notes version, so we can get to the dungeon.
This is all important lore.
It's not. It's just called lore.
Trying to save Lynn. This is the first time I've seen Veloz actively not trying to murder Lynn.
But has she started out with like I heard part of it.
She says,
"Doubt. Is there like a hey, can you cure this? Solid yes or no? Like not give me a history lesson on the medicine."
This is just Vergello and I are sitting in the tavern having this conversation.
You're having a conversation about how long she's been gone.
Like, what is taking them so long?
No.
Would you be quiet so I can make these antidotes?
Oh,
Aimee,
I'm so bored.
Don't listen to them. Let's proceed. The old lady says, "Tell me, Velastil? Would you like to know a bit of your destiny? All I would require is one finger off of your hand. I could tell you deep truths about your fate and your past."
I love all 10 of these guys so much. About my past?
You don't wish to know?
No. Oh, no. I keep learning stuff about my past, and all it does is piss me off, to be quite candid. As far as my future...
What about you? Grunralk Goblin? Enemy of the Iser Orcs, is it? They vex you, they haunt your past. You seek revenge. I feel the hatred in your heart. What is one digit for knowledge of your destiny? For the record, giving up a finger means that you cannot wield two-handed weapons effectively. So this might be a bigger deal for Grunralk than Velas.
Hold, please.
One of you uses all 10 fingers frequently, the other doesn't care as much. But
My destiny. I've been a dead man for longer than you understand. I already know my destiny.
very well. I wish you both the finest of fortunes, but I'm afraid the value of your offering is spent. I thank you for visiting my small cabin, and I wish you the finest of fortunes on your travels.
May the Nightwalker bless you.
And I'll walk towards the door.
Could I maybe offer you one more thing for one last question?
What is your offering?
I'm gonna
Adam, you're
pull
killing me.
out, Syagar's journal.
You're gonna pull out Syagar's journal and give it over?
Kind of important. I know a couple of people who want it.
She runs her gnarled old fingers over the surface of this dusty old book that you've been carrying. What am I holding?
This is a journal from a man who was tortured by Rust Brothers, but one night, he, in torturing himself, had a vision from Rust himself. In this journal lies...
That's not Syagar's journal. That's Almon the Sigillist's journal.
My bad. Syagar's journal is
But that's fine. Syagar's journal is the one you stole from her Rust brother. Almon's journal is the one belonging to the Sigillist that you found in Red Hook Redoubt.
Yes. Hand her Almon's. I apologize.
You give her Almon's journal. Okay.
Yes.
So, she asked, what is this? And you tell her.
I just need that again, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a vision from Rust. And I know it's a little piecemeal, but I mean, someone as wise as you, I'm sure, can interpret its meanings.
She asks if you can share with her where you found it.
I found it where he was being held and where he was laid to rest.
And where was that?
In Red Hook Redoubt.
She doesn't inquire further, which implies that she might know about it. She will take the journal in her hands, and she asks why you think this journal has value.
It's been asked for by several people. It has a vision from the god Rust that discusses his plan for a future and what he thinks is to come. And as someone who likes to share fortunes with other people who are willing to offer their fingers, it seems like a helpful thing to know. Not that you have less insight than the god Rust, but...
She'll tuck it away under her cloak, and she will ask you to step forward and kneel before her chair.
To kneel before her chair?
She's going to spit into her gnarled old hand and slap it on your forehead. And then she holds her hand against your forehead a bit. It's gross. And she's smearing her hand all over your scalp and all over your face. And it's
okay, I got a place where I can sleep with showers now, so I'll take one later.
And she's humming a bit to herself. And she is going to say that she feels a darkness in you, which is a thing that you've heard before. And
eyes closed, but very vivid eye roll.
She says, I believe I know where you could find the Heartstone of your grandmother Viridia. But I will not tell you unless you give me a piece of yourself.
What piece do you want?
I have already said one of the digits. Just one. Just a little finger off one of your hands. That I may have it, and that I may exploit it for its magics. What is such a sacrifice to an elf? You could return to the still mist and have it restored. So what harm is there in giving it to an old lady like myself?
No. Believe it or not, I think I can restore it myself. The problem is not in whether or not the finger can be restored, it's what you can do with me after it's been taken. I appreciate your desire for my body. It's not often pursued by women with your power level. But my question, and what I want to know most at this current moment, I'm just going to stand up and look at her like eye to eye. If I'm like halfway standing or full standing, however I can look her in the eye.
Well, she's got like a blindfold on, but yeah, you stand and look at her.
Well, is it right in her face?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a wand or means to channel magic of Chermog for my friend?
You wish to control the magic of Chermog.
Yes.
So that your friend can be free of it. Is that it?
You've just told me the only two ways to get rid of it are there two people who will kill me on sight. So more than get rid of it, I suppose I want a way for her to use it to further her own ability.
She says, I thank you for this journal. And there is a skilled practitioner of the magic of Chermog who might be able to control its powers, who you can find at the Haggler's house, a place in the Harga Plains. It is a town that is utterly consumed with darkness, somewhat of a headquarters of the followers of Rust and Heem, where many dark practices are carried out. Her name is Loren. She is one of my ancient sisters, and I believe she could help you to control this power.
Well, I appreciate you very much for this information, for all of the information you've told me, and you've given me hope. Because if you knew where Viridia's Heartstone is, someone else does too.
Perhaps.
I find it. And you don't need my finger to see that for my future. And I'm gonna turn around and walk out.
All right. Regroup with the... you can go out and talk to Grunrock, and then the two of you head back to the town. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick while you all regroup, and then we can proceed to the next thing. So I will be right back. Do a recap without me for a minute.
You just come back to the tavern with me, like, banging my head on the table, like, softly, like,
We're back and we have all of our fingers.
Finally, what? Fingers?
Yeah, the witch wanted them
Why?
for past and future and destiny and some shit.
Oh, I bet she was going to put it on a skewer and roast it over a low flame for 7 hours and then eat it.
Fingers don't have that much meat on them.
That's why you have to roast it over a low flame.
That doesn't feel like a very appetizing snack.
But for what it's worth, I did not go to learn about my future. Ravar, I tried to
learn
find...
about mine?
No, buddy, I know about your future. We're gonna go into a bee cave, you're gonna get high on gas, and then take a potion that you... I don't know who the other one will be, but I know you'll be one of them.
That's a good idea, but maybe this time when we go back, we don't make the gas come out of those dead bodies again.
Did we determine if those brooches were valuable that we pulled out of their throats?
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah. I mean, if
I don't know.
they're worth something, we could probably snatch it. I could probably snatch it up real quick and run out.
Yeah, I imagine we could all snatch one with, like, something around our face and...
I'll tell you.
So there's only 2 left, too.
And I put it back in, like, the folds of my robes. I don't think I want people around here knowing that we have this.
I talked to a witch about... Lynn.
I'm back.
Oh.
I didn't give her name, just in case names have power. You know, it's hard to know. Is that an expression? Is it real?
I don't know. Did she say that she would teach her?
I didn't ask her to teach her. She was kind of creepy, and I would worry about Lynn's, soul. But,
Yeah.
I more tried to find if there was a way to remove the Chermog from her, or channel it, and...
Yeah? Well, what did she say?
Well, Zytera's one person who could remove it. And
Okay, let's go see Zytera.
No.
No.
Zytera is super evil. Like, super evil.
Like, how evil? On the scale from, like, 0 to spider, how evil?
Like, Dahlia, to me, she's like
Sauron.
8.
On a scale of Dahlia to me, she's Sauron. He's Sauron.
She's Sauron. Have you ever heard of Sauron?
So, I'm gathering the short of this is that there's no one, at least on the good side of things, that is willing to help her.
There's someone in a place called Halgar's house.
Hagler's house.
Hagler's house. Yes, that's what I have here. Hagler's house in the Halgar Plains. It's the witch's sister.
Harga Plains.
Harga.
Anybody that succeeds on a lore roll might have heard of Hagler's house. If anybody wants to make a lore roll to try to know about Hagler's house.
Nope, I don't know Jack.
Ralgar knows 1 success worth.
Ralgar knows 1 success worth.
Ralgar rolls 7 dice for lore.
All right.
He's an old wolf.
Ralgar, you've heard a little bit, not the full legend, but you know that Hagler's house is a place of holy significance to the Rust brothers, and it is supposed to be the site of the greatest temple to the goddess Heme, who is like Rust's bride, in all of the Ravenlands. And you know that worshippers of Rust and Heme go on pilgrimages there for religious reasons, as is implied by the word pilgrimage, and that it's supposed to be a dark and terrible place that people should stay away from.
Okay, well, let me say this then. I think that is a very good plan A. But we should stick to this dungeon with its treasures and with the Honeylich's flesh as our plan B, and that's the one we should do today.
I'm not opposed to that. Something else you might all find interesting, and we can walk and talk about this. She said if I had given her a finger, she said that she would be able to somehow use it to derive the location of Viridia's Heartstone.
I feel like just some good investigation on our part could do that with all 10 fingers and toes intact.
Listen, I didn't give up a finger.
I mean, I can see that. I think that's a bad trade.
So worried about losing a finger. I think I could do my job well enough with 9. My problem is I don't know what she would do with my finger afterwards, and I'm not trying to give up information.
I mean, if you're worried about the power of names, I imagine the power of having a piece of your flesh probably goes further than that.
That's why I didn't give it to her.
Yeah.
We're in the
So
same
I think that was a good choice.
But, and I know a little bit of magic. What if you made sure she consumed the finger in front of you? I don't mean ate it. I mean consumed it in whatever divinity magic she was going to use. You could make sure that she does it right now and does not have your finger anymore afterwards.
I'm not so sure she was using divine magic.
Okay, what if we beat it out of her?
No.
Trust me, I thought about it. You don't want to mess with that old bag. I got a bad feeling from her.
Well, you do not get bad feelings very often.
No, there was yesterday.
I feel like she gave her eyes up for something, but that's just speculation.
What was the name of the
We
witch?
have all given up things. Okay, well, do we want to spend today in town? Or
Tasia.
go back to the dungeon?
I think we should go to the dungeon.
Hey, wolf guy. Ralgar,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
old.
yeah.
Does the name Tastia mean anything to you?
Tastia.
2 successes on your lore roll? No. The answer is no.
That does not mean anything to me.
She must be
Sounds like one of my
extremely
favorite
obscure.
words. It sounds like tasty.
Yeah, it's not far off, but trust me, there's not much appetizing to do with that one.
I just prefer it over the bee puns.
All right.
Nope, I'm not pulling out another one.
Thank goodness. All right.
Reasonable.
Next time of the day.
Yep. All right, let's advance the time to daytime.
Daytime.
That was morning.
Daytime.
And put yourself on explore if you want to go to the dungeon.
Don't tell me what to do, Josh.
No.
Give me the
Get him
milk,
some
Josh.
milk. Give him the milk, Josh.
I can't even. All right.
Am I still afflicted
No,
with the honey side effect?
it has worn off.
Okay.
Well, you know what you need to do.
I mean,
Honestly, and this is just Bill like speculating a little bit with the dungeon. What if it's just like somewhat fermented honey to where like you were just somewhat like drunk on like a very heavy honey, like honey mead kind of deal?
and he did say that it made us feel very full.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just saying, like we could leave this place with a couple of mugs full.
The people that ate the honey wake up not hungry the next day, for the record. I know that your food is paid for, so it didn't really matter, but I'm just telling you that you woke up feeling still full the next day. That stuff has serious sustenance value.
nice. Just just for the record, I still enjoyed a full breakfast on the inn's dime, despite feeling satiated.
Maybe while we're in town, we should like buy a sealed barrel and just load the stuff up in it. If all we got to do is worry about like
Jar?
24.
I'm gonna pull out the empty jar from my backpack that had the herbs in it. Wait, you can scoop some up in this.
Oh, you can tell that jar had those herbs in it because the bees are avoiding it.
You know any child that grew up playing Ocarina of Time, because when they have an empty jar, they hold on to it until they die.
Yeah.
100% sure.
Jar. The greatest treasure in all the land.
It is so freaking hard to get them, okay? It's worth it.
Right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not hard to get them. You just have to like go to the places to get them.
Bill, stop it.
All right.
Look,
You have this out of character conversation on the way to the dungeon, and when you arrive, the door is still there. You can push it out of the way.
glad the door didn't go away.
I would like to, before we go in, I just want to snip
The door
around
is
and
gone.
see if I can sniff out any other people's scents,
Sure.
or notice any footprints,
Sure.
or anything like that.
Make a scouting roll. Nothing.
It smells like honey.
Smell honey. All right, Josh. I didn't get to ask you because you weren't here. The thing that we took out of the throat, like the little brooch thing that we called a brooch, did it look like it was valuable? Like after we examine it, like outside of the dungeon?
Right. One sec. Let me get the description of it so I can tell you the right answer. Don't mind the ominous music here.
Music.
There's nothing ominous.
Is this thing valuable? Dum dum.
There's nothing ominous about this place. Pay no attention to the music.
The bees.
Hashtag very ominous. Right, one sec.
In the meantime, Bill, now that you explained to me again how XP works, I'm just looking at all the things I want to do with it. Like, we'll get a few days in town. This sounds so nice.
I mean, I got 2 first level things. I mean, because once you go past first level for talents, you don't have to make a roll anymore.
Spend that.
You just spend it and get it.
There's the volume. Sorry about that.
That got epic for a second.
I know, it got pretty intense.
Super epic. And as soon as I turned it down, Josh turned it down, and I couldn't hear it at all.
It's fine. All right. The clasps are each bronze. Oh wait, you have one. You have one. It is a bronze clasp shaped like a leathery toad with warts all over his back, and the warts are made out of quartz. It has no components to it that are made of precious materials. This isn't made of like, rubies and sapphires. It's made of semi-precious materials, but it's finely crafted and looks like it would fetch a decent price as a decorative object. So I would say low to medium value on the clasp.
We just gotta sell it in the right place.
Between like broken,
Kill the other
stolen tin mug and pretty in shape candelabra you found under some trash.
Somewhere in between the two.
Okay,
Okay.
that candelabra is solid silver. So
Yeah.
I didn't.
This is
see the
not as
candelabra
valuable
was
as something
trash.
of solid silver. This is not a highly valuable piece, but it is a finely crafted little art piece that probably had some religious significance to somebody at one point. But it's made of not particularly precious materials, just very well crafted.
I say if we want these things, then we can snag them on the way out. Otherwise, let's just ignore like that room. Like just move on through it to the next room from there.
I agree. We can take them, and when we get out of the dungeon, we can sell them on Etsy.
No.
Sounds good.
No.
The great market of XP.
You know who we should sell them to? Mrs. Palmore. She's all the time buying dumb
It's
shit.
not. It's not worth coming into contact with that lady.
Hey, Vergello. The DM says, take the lead. Let's go.
All right, let's go, everyone.
You're the motivated person here. Let's make something happen.
I am very good at holding torches.
Oh yeah, we gotta do a torch.
There is still a bubbling fountain full of delicious honey that is calling to you.
I start
Let's-
slowly walking. toward-
No.
But
On the way out.
okay.
I'm gonna take Did my empty jar from Garst's house have a lid?
Oh, motherfucker. Torches is going down to a D6.
DM.
What was the question?
My jar from Garst's house have a lid?
Sure.
Cool. I'm gonna scoop up some of that honey.
All right, you can add it to your inventory. It's a standard weight item.
Oh, Velas, you got some of it on your fingers. You should just clean it off real quick.
Okay. Rub the side of my finger on the.
Vergello raced to one end here. So, Vergello, I'm going to say a couple of things. One is that
You not even check to see if those things were still spewing gas?
I walked into that room where they're at.
the beehive that you killed yesterday has not regenerated in any way. It still seems to be dormant, quiet. And you've walked past the 4 bodies, one of which is missing its little frog clasp off of its throat. And there is a door on the far end of this chamber from where you came in that has not been opened. It's a big stone door with a hingy handle in it that can be turned. It's got a
I'm
knob.
gonna wait for my companions at this door.
What's the weight of this jar?
I would like to sniff around the door and see if I can smell out any traps or anything like that.
Okay.
It's
Make
probably tiny, Aimee.
a scouting roll. What'd you get?
I got 1 success.
You detect no traps on this door. It appears to be a stone door with a handle, like a latch handle, no visible lock, and it is built into the surrounding carved stone wall, which was carved out with fine artistic ability. Everything down here looks finely crafted, carefully polished. It's all covered in a thick layer of dust and grime and honey splatters, but other than that, everything down here looks like fine masonry unless otherwise noted.
Guys, I will get this one. And I just want to grab just the handle of the door and just try to pull.
Sure.
It's a push door.
Pull doesn't work.
I'm pulling harder. I'm like putting 1 foot up on it. It's just like,
Full commit.
I do not think this door will open. We will need to find another way around.
I try and pick the lock.
It's not locked.
The door opens into
Door
a
opens. Push.
the door opens into a surrounding hallway that seems to branch off in multiple directions to the north and the west. You appear to be in a corner down here with 2 ways to go, and all you see is more stone floor extending outward. Although to the west, at the edge of your torchlight, who has torches lit?
Ralgar has a torch lit.
Just Ralgar. Ralgar. Let me put a little icon on you.
I don't want to step out without who. All right, someone's got to have better scouting than me. Total, I'm at 4 here on scouting.
You can make out a vague edge. You see to the west there, it looks like there's the edge of a little squiggle. That is because there is a puddle of honey on the floor off in the distance at the very edge of your torchlight. You can see honey just oozing out into the floor.
All right, well, this is a new area. Do we want to change up marching orders again? Grunrock in the lead.
I'll take front.
I'll take second.
Do not go anywhere without looking for traps first.
Jesus Christ.
There's your door sound effect. You're welcome.
I didn't even hear it.
the bees, and so I couldn't hear the cave, so I had the sound all the way up, and I thought that I was being attacked by a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, Joshua.
You're welcome.
Coming.
Got push to talk, or I cannot hear you. Go ahead, Grunrock. Lead the way.
Boldly go.
All right, Grunrock, I'm going to reveal some stuff here. One sec.
Scout.
Stay right where you are.
Roll your scouting rolls.
All right, Grunrock.
I don't do
First of all,
I take the dirt.
you see a hallway to the north and a hallway to the northwest, and they are to the north. You see that the hallway opens out into an open chamber. To the northwest, there is a narrow hallway that dead ends in another stone door, much like the one that you came through. In front of you, you can see a few things. One sec. Just revealing. All right. It looks like to the north of you is an opening into... Okay. There's actually 4 directions here, so let's go counterclockwise. So to the northeast, there's a hallway dead ending in a door. To the due north of you, there is a hallway opening out into a chamber that you can't see any noteworthy details in. To the northwest, you see a hallway where you can vaguely make out the shapes of some elevated stone platforms. And that's all you can see. There's like there's 2, you see the edges of 2 stone platforms there to the northwest. And then to the west of you, you are seeing into an open chamber that I'll give you the full description of here. So there's a loud droning hum coming from the west, from this room that is just full of gooey, dripping beehives, all leaking auburn honey into the muddy floor. And each one is sitting on top of a little pedestal made out of skulls. The masses of papery leaking hives on top of each of the skull heaps is dripping honey down the skull heaps and into a huge puddle that's flooding the floor in the main part of the room. The floor appears to be entirely covered in honey, and you can vaguely make out the croaking sounds of pale toads whose eyes reflect at you from the darkness, and that seem to hop among the honey like it is some sort of macabre swamp.
That's peculiar. Do we want to go into the honey swamp or that way?
And I'll point up the hallway.
I bet those toads are crunchy. We should catch one. And I think I'm gonna try to catch a honey toad.
All the time, I catch things smaller than you.
You gonna go try to catch a honey toad?
I want to try to catch a honey toad.
All right, Rob.
Do I know anything about these honey toads? I mean, I don't know if they're poisonous or something.
You can make a lore roll.
Can we all make lore rolls?
Sure.
Not me.
I got 2 successes.
I don't know jack shit about lore. I always get a skull when I roll lore.
Ralgar, you take a couple of steps forward to the edge of the honey. You see the toads lurking around in there, and you believe these to be cave toads that have got pale flesh and pale eyes, and you believe that these are just underground cave toads that perhaps are subsisting off of the insects down here. You know nothing noteworthy about them, other than that they look adapted to this dark underground environment. They seem to react negatively to your light approaching them, and you imagine that they are just the wildlife adapting to underground bees.
Do I know that they are not poisonous?
With 2 lore successes and looking at them for a second, you think that they are probably not poisonous, possibly edible, although they are small. They look like creepy little albino cave toads. You don't know of any poisonous properties associated with them.
Okay. I do not think I should eat one right now, because I don't want that honey to get in me again. Should we go?
You also
go
recall
up here?
you also recall the beehive in that previous room, and now you're looking out at about 5 or 6 smaller hives and thinking, "Oh man, if we piss these off, it might be ugly."
Oh yeah. I'm walking away. I'm going up towards the northeast hallway.
Okay.
And is there anything as we walk up? Is there anything like noteworthy on the walls? Is there any art?
No.
Candelabras?
No, it's
or...
bare stone walls of fine masonry, much like the ones you've seen already.
All right. In that case, I'd love to inspect the door.
The door is a double stone door. It's split down the middle with hinges on either side, so it's a 2-part door that could be pushed open in either direction. It has no visible locks or latches of any kind. It looks like it can be pushed in either direction, much like a saloon door.
I still want to inspect it and see if there's anything suspicious about it that might trigger anything.
Sure. Make a scouting
My
roll.
abilities. Whoop. 1 success, 1 fail.
1 success. You do not detect anything unusual about the door. It looks to just be a door with no mechanisms attached
that
to
way,
it.
I'm like, oh, so there is something suspicious. I just didn't get enough successes.
Many years as a DM, I know how to word these things to keep you guessing.
Grunrock's gonna put both his hands on the door and just push.
Maybe there's a trap and it requires 3 successes to detect. I don't know.
I'm holding the torch up over your head while you do it.
All right, you're holding the torch up and Grunrock is pushing it open.
Yeah.
All right, your funeral.
The bees.
The room is piled to the ceiling, filled with silver and gold pieces.
You wish. That room is at least 30 paces away from you in some direction. All right. You are looking into a big open chamber. This room has no visible doors except the one that you entered from. And the walls of the room depict murals all the way around on every face, and the only feature of the room is a circular stone bench in the middle of the room that lets you sit and gaze in any direction. So there's like a pedestal with like a little low circular stone bench, and the murals that encircle the room, which are plaster carvings. It's like they slathered the walls in plaster, carved these elaborate murals into it, and then painted on top of the plaster. So it's these like fancy bas-relief murals all the way around the room on every side. Does anybody go in? Because you'll see that there's murals, but unless you go in, you won't be able to see what they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going in there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm following everyone.
All right. Go ahead and move yourself in.
I just have a sit on the bench facing
Sure.
southwest.
These murals, after studying them a bit, appear to depict cycles of sickness and healing. There is, at the start of the story, kind of working your way clockwise around the room, there's miasma coming from the sky that's afflicting a town and crops and people down on ground level with boils and sores and a visible sickness. And there's a shining figure in a white glimmering robe that has vague silver edging kind of built into the mural, who appears to be some sort of savior figure with like radiant light coming off of him. And he is bending down to them, and as you're working your way clockwise, it seems to be telling a story about this silvery, shiny savior figure feeding honey to the ill people and reviving them from their illness so that they can get on with their lives, and then it ends in them having prosperous crops and thriving health. At the beginning of the story, on the part of the mural close to the door where you came in, it's like sheer horror. There's like people throwing dead babies into a mass grave, and people covered in horrible boils, people with parts of their bodies falling off, and withered and rotted limbs and things like that. And then as you work your way around, it tells the story of this like shining figure feeding them honey and curing their diseases.
I wonder if this is the story of Aylesbury.
I don't know. Makes some sense, I guess.
You said these walls were just like plaster slapped on the wall?
It looks like the walls were slathered in plaster, which was carved into the shapes of these murals, so they have a little bit of a 3D aspect to them. They're like popping out a little bit, and then it's painted on top to give them color, but the paint is ancient and peeling. So it looks like this is a like a multi-level master work of craftsmanship. Some skilled artist or multiple skilled artists worked on this to do this very elaborate mural all the way around, but it looks very ancient and it's sort of peeling and weathered.
I'm just walking all the way around, just studying it, and like very gently with the pads of my paws, not my nails. Just like feeling it as I walk around and take it all in.
Sure. Noted.
Now I'm gonna slowly move my character around roll 20 while I do that.
Okay.
Well, it's gorgeous.
Well away from the wall.
As gorgeous as this is, do we want to just move on?
Does anyone want to inspect to see if there's anything suspicious or anything with these walls?
I do not have good eyes to do such a thing.
I'm pretty good at that sort of thing, I guess. Which wall in particular?
Pick a wall, any wall.
It's just why there's a little alcove down here. Why did that not just make this room a square?
Ralgar.
Uh-oh.
While inspecting the murals, you will notice something that I'll require no roll for. It looks like the savior figure, when you get close to him and rub your hands along and look at everything up close, you notice that in several places the savior figure has his eyes scratched out and replaced with crude carvings of bees on top of the eye sockets.
Ooh, we saw that somewhere else.
Yeah, that was in the, that first secret room you found.
Interesting. I think someone did not like this savior figure. Okay. Then I guess I'll just start walking out the room.
Alright. Where are you headed, Ralgar?
Do you notice anything, Velas? I'm not seeing anything other than paintings.
Do I notice anything?
You said you were...
Not
Right, you
beyond,
said you were gonna do
not
a
beyond what Ralgar noticed.
I really thought it.
Really? Oh, well.
Starting to wonder if maybe I should have given that witch a finger.
Ralgar is proceeding into a new area with the torch lit, so I'm going
Could
to
have cut one off too.
pause where you are and I will reveal some stuff. Alright, let me give you a description here.
Interesting.
Alright. There is an open chamber with a staircase leading up to the grand hall beyond. The center of this open area is dominated by an octagonal dais supporting a central brass cupola decorated in gilt bee imagery. So this whole thing is covered in little bee statuettes and objects that are edged in gold. It looks like it's basically a gazebo, and inside of it you can make out a hexagonal altar of some sort of shiny black stone about 1 meter across, and atop this altar are bones in some sort of orderly stacked structure. You can make out just a pile of bones. And there is honey dripping down the bone structure inside of the gazebo that you can make out.
The video game player inside me, now that I see this is connected to the main atrium, I'm tempted to turn back and explore side hallways. That is just my immediate reaction.
I'm gonna approach the gazebo. I want to get a better look at it.
Okay. Also, there is a door that's probably not super visible. It is drawn here, but right here, look at where my ping is. See those two little lines popping out of the wall?
Yeah.
There is a door built in the wall right there. Let me go ahead and reveal it a little bit. There's another stone door in that wall right there.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and do a reveal on it so that it's more visible. There we go. There's a door in the wall right there.
Yeah, I'll walk up into the gazebo.
You walk up into the gazebo. It is faintly humming from within, as though it has bees inside of it. You see just a slow trickle of honey oozing down the sides of it. There's nothing else visible. There's no writing, there's no murals or anything, but this appears to be some sort of holy altar to something. And you can make out that the altar is mostly made out of a shiny, black, smooth, polished stone, perhaps onyx, with, like I said, a organized stack of bones on top of it.
Is there anything like in the center of the bones? Like, am I able to look through like?
It looks like a
bones?
solid pile of bones all the way through,
Okay.
stacked in some orderly fashion. So you're looking at what appears to be an altar with a covering, obviously of some holy significance, dripping with honey and humming from within with bees. And the entire gazebo itself is covered in little bee decorations that have a little bit of gilding on them. But there's no murals, there's no writing, and there's no mechanisms. It just looks to be some sort of an altar that is strangely dripping with honey and humming from within.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with this altar for good or for worse. Let's just move to the next door. Let's keep exploring.
Ralgar? Stone door there?
I'm gonna scout the door for traps.
Go for it. Scouting roll.
One success.
Okay. You spot no visible traps or mechanisms attached to the door with your one success.
All right, I'll give it a push.
Okay. All right. Revealing.
Boss fight, boss fight.
I mean, if you want a boss fight, just desecrate that altar. I'm sure something will come out.
The door slams
yeah,
shut behind us. Music starts playing.
All right. Let me give you a description here.
Ooh, I see.
All right. This one's pretty gnarly. Buckle up. A room laden with disassembled bones and hives piled to form some sort of horrifying skeletal apiary. Meaning lots of bones, lots of bees. Something has burrowed. Okay, to the west, I don't know if you see that little nook that I carved into the wall there. To the west, something appears to have burrowed through one of the walls, leading to a tunnel beyond. In the room itself, you see piles and piles and piles of bones just heaped up all over the place. This room is some sort of mass grave, and it is filled with piles of ancient bones stacked high, and many of them have hives on top. What you notice just from glancing in from the area where you are by the door, many of the hives, the big like papery structured beehives with all their layers in kind of traditional beehive shape, many of those hives appear to be torn open, knocked over, or busted so that there's just honey dripping out of them and they're gaping open. It looks like this room has been disturbed. And there are many of the hives are built upon piles of bones, and it looks like some of the hives have been knocked over, piles of bones strewn about, and the air is dancing with swarms of angry bees. Not what you would expect in a dark, isolated dungeon, perhaps.
I do not want to go into this room.
Yeah, if those bees are angry, they might think we did all this. We could always come back.
The look of that.
There's a tunnel going off in that direction. Made it a little clearer. It looks like there's a tunnel going off in that direction, and that the tunnel is not of the fine, smoothly carved fine masonry that the rest of the dungeon is made of. It looks like a crude tunnel dug into the side.
Do we think that the lich is through the tunnel?
I have no idea where the lich would be.
I cannot imagine the lich itself would need to crudely dig its way through its own temple.
What if this temple belonged to that sanctified figure depicted everywhere else that has its eyes carved into bees, and the Honeylich took this place over, and that's why? I mean, I can't imagine the Honeylich was the one who was originally depicted in the...
I forgot to note something. There's also an arched doorway with a closed stone door right here in this wall right here. In the side wall.
I just assumed
It would require creeping past the visibly angry bee swarms to get to that door.
Let's just shut the door and go explore the open area up here. Let's at least get the rest of our options before we get in another swarm fight.
Okay.
Ralgar, you go up into the main chamber.
Up into the main chamber.
All right, you go out into the open. So you're in a huge vaulted atrium here. There's a lot of directions you can see from here. I'm going to reveal everything out to a reasonable radius and then give you descriptions of anything you hadn't seen before. So one sec. Just revealing. All right. I'm revealing about out to your torch line in every direction. You can see a lot in a lot of directions. First of all, to the east and northeast, there are corridors just continuing on deeper into the dungeon, and you can't see much in those directions other than the statue garden that you already saw. To the west, you appear to be looking into a chamber with a strange structure, and it looks like there's a hallway leading beyond it, and I will give you the description of what you see in that direction. In that, to the west, the stonework of the floor and walls is coated in a chalky substance. The walls and floor are kind of coated in a fine white dust. And there is a pyramid of bones up ahead in that direction, in that big intersection. It is topped with a skull, kind of an oversized skull that looks a little too large to be a human's, although it has the structure of a human skull. And so it's got this huge oversized skull at the top of the pyramid of bones, and there are phosphorescent lights dancing around and in and out of that skull on top of the pyramid that are like kind of like glowing insects flying in and out of it. So the pyramid and the skull on top appear to be infested with some sort of glowing phosphorescent insects or bees of some sort that are buzzing in and out of it and occasionally illuminating it.
If I walk towards it, does anything different happen, or they just keep circling it?
Let's see. One sec.
Just want to touch it.
I want to eat one of the glow bugs.
I'm gonna dive through it.
Please hold.
Listen, it seems to me like a giant bone pyramid with glowy eyes would be a good place to put the Honeylich. However, this is not very far into this dungeon.
All right. Please hold.
Yeah, I know when I become a lich, I would honestly want to stick my corpse like one floor above or below, just so it's more inconvenient.
Listen, especially
However-
if people's goal is to eat my dead flesh.
Yeah.
All right. Grunrock.
I want to.
When you approach the
wanna-
pyramid, nothing visibly different happens, but you do see that the bees that are swarming around this pyramid thing are somewhat translucent, and you occasionally see them flying through solid matter as though perhaps they are some sort of ghost bees. They seem to pay you little mind, and there are so many of them crammed inside of the skull at the top of this pyramid that it's just continually glowing from within the eye sockets.
I'm gonna go get the skull.
I want to touch the pyramid.
You touch it. There's a crumbly substance all over the surface of it, and you realize that it is a pyramid made of bones, and that slabs of flesh appear to have been thrown onto it, which have since rotted and decayed away to the point where there's now just a crumbly film of ancient, rotted flesh coating the outsides of this pyramid. Nothing visibly happens when you touch it, but it smells bad. It releases some dust into the air when you touch it, and it looks really gross. And you can vaguely make out that it's very, very old flesh that's rotting away.
I want to, like, Jenga pull on a bone.
You yank a bone out of there?
Yeah.
You do that, and you're holding a bone, and there's a little poof of dust off of the side of the pyramid, and nothing visibly happens. The ghost bees seem quite content hanging out in the skull at the top of the pyramid.
Last dumb decision. I want to throw the bone at the skull.
Okay. One sec.
Yeah. You're gonna need to roll for marksmanship.
When he reaches back to throw it, just as a note, I'm gonna pull out the Phantom Tracker.
Okay.
Oh, I've had my bow drawn this whole time. Like, we're walking around in a dungeon, and I ain't messing around.
He throws a bone at the top of the pyramid and knocks over the oversized skull, and it goes tumbling down the far side of the pyramid and just erupting.
Catch it.
Yeah, can I try and catch it?
Veloz is closest, so you can run around there and try to catch it. Erupting out of the center of the pyramid is just a swarm of glowing phosphorescent, what appear to be ghost bees. Initiative, everybody. We're drawing initiative. We're fighting an undead bee swarm. Let's do it.
Can I catch it before initiative?
Go ahead and roll just raw agility and see if you get any successes. I'm going in the order on the Discord
Got what?
here. Huh?
Got one success.
Okay. You catch the skull. You've got it in your hands. It's a regular weight object. Here we go. I'm going to go in the order that you are listed in roll 20. So, Bill, you're on 8. Aimee, you're on 3 with a skull in your hands. Hank, you got the ace. You get to go first, ahead of everybody. Ralgar, you know what you got. You got the 10, the lowest possible initiative. I didn't really have to announce that. It happens every time. And the undead bee swarm's going on 9, which is a horrible draw for everybody except Adam. So we're starting with Aimee. You are up with the ace. You've just caught the skull in your hands, and you see.
Hank got the ace.
Oh, sorry. Hank got the ace, and you have a. You see a just swarm of bees erupting out of this hive, and they are glowing and they're flying through solid matter.
How do you punch a ghost?
Become a level 7 monk.
I'm gonna try, I guess, and attack the bees.
Become a level 7 monk.
All right.
I'm gonna slash the bees with my scimitar.
Okay. Please
Got a
hold.
success, but I don't know if that matters since they're ghosts.
Yeah, 1 sec.
E's were right there. Oops. Oh, thumbs down me.
All right. It appears to work, but you swing through the thickest part of the bees, and the ones that your scimitar passes through seem to be just dispersing into mist, as though the swing of your weapon is actually damaging them, but only in a very minimal way. And you seem to have had an impact on some of the bees in the swarm, but a pretty negligible one, and you're not sure if you're going to be able to physically overcome this swarm in the way that you're fighting. So it seems to be having an impact, but a pretty negligible one. You do 1 damage to it, but the swarm is overwhelming, and you have I think you draw your weapon and swing, so that's probably your entire turn. Which takes us to initiative 3, which is Velas.
Aimee.
You've unleashed something. What you gonna do, Velas?
I have a quick DM question.
Yes.
I am holding the beehive, or I'm just holding a skull? Or I am holding one in the skull?
You're holding a skull that rolled down off the far end of the beehive.
Okay, so it's not the beehive.
It's not the beehive. The beehive is the entire structure, and this skull was just sitting on top of it. It looks to be humanoid in nature, but too large to be a human skull. You're holding it in your hands, and bees are pouring out of it. Ghost bees.
Out of the skull?
Out of the skull?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Alright, next question. Game mechanic wise, would the skull go farther if I threw it? Or if someone like baseball slammed, like batted it with a torch?
Probably won't make too much difference. You can chuck it in a direction if you like.
Okay, then I'm just gonna yeet it as far as I possibly can.
In what direction?
I am gonna yeet it down this hallway.
Alright, just out into the main chamber.
Yeah, I don't see a better place to throw it.
You yeet. You chuck it. You have 1 action left. That can be a slow action or a fast action. What do you want to do with your other action?
Throw it like a certain distance?
You just yeet it and it goes bouncing off down the hallway into the darkness as far as you can. It goes a good way. Probably goes...
The ghost bees are still coming out of the skull?
Oh yeah, they're still swarming all over this area. It's a fucking nightmare.
Wait, question. Are the ghost bees coming out of the skull or out of the pyramid?
The pyramid under the skull, although there were a bunch of them in the skull, so when she picked it up, they kept swarming out of it, and then she chucked it away. But you still see them just shooting up out of the pyramid like a column.
Okay, I thought they were coming out of the skull.
Other than the bioluminescent bugs, there was nothing else valuable in this pyramid, right?
You have no idea. All you see is bones and old, rotted, decaying flesh.
I'm just gonna like punch the bone pyramid as hard as I can.
All right, bones go scattering off of it into the corner of the room, and more bees come pouring out of it. This room is filling with ghost bees. It's a fucking nightmare, and you're not sure if there's any way to deal with them. And then we are on to Initiative 8, which is Vergello.
I'm gonna run over here where she threw that skull and watch all of this happen.
You can actually move 2 zones if you use both of your move actions, so you can go another room away if you want to. You can either be by the honey fountain or down by the gazebo, or you can stay where you are. Or you can do the advisable thing and charge into the darkness aimlessly.
Where's No, I don't want to do that. What does the swarm look like from over here?
Just glowing little points of light swarming out of the hive and swarming all around your friends, filling that room with the pyramid in it.
But they're not coming over here.
They don't appear to be now.
Yeah, no, I'll just stay here.
All right. Then we are on to Initiative 9, which is the bees. The bee swarm is going to attack a random one of the 3 people in the room. In this order, I'm going to roll a d3. 1 is Ralgar, 2 is Velas, 3 is Grunralk. Grunralk,
Oh, buddy.
you are the lucky one.
I'm always the lucky one.
All right, here we go. Bee swarm at you. Are you going to forego Are you going to forego a fast action on your next turn to dodge now, or are you just going to take it so that you have a full turn next turn?
I'm gonna dodge.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack. Make a dodge roll. I think it's a move roll. The swarm gets 2 successes, so you need at least 2 successes to avoid getting stung. You get 1 success. Your dodge is insufficient. You are going to take 1 point of non-typical damage that's going to bypass your armor. So you don't get to roll armor against it. You just take a point of damage to your strength. And you feel funny. But that will come up later. Everybody else, let's do it. Initiative 10 is Ralgar.
That's Ralgar. Ralgar's still gonna start retreating down this hallway. He's just trying to get out of the. He doesn't want to run through the swarm.
Always happens.
Right? This room is filled. I don't want to
I'm
go.
pretty sure the DM has said multiple times that this looks like it's too much for you to handle. So I'm like.
I didn't say that
I don't know why
exactly,
we're sitting
but
in
I
the fight.
did say there's a huge swarm, and Grunralk
There's
swinging
a huge
and
swarm.
dispersing.
Yeah,
Some of
Grunralk
them
swinging.
seems to be doing little.
And then we punched another hole. Yeah, I punched another hole, and more bees start coming out. Like, I thought maybe we put the skull on the top of the pyramid, but as soon as a new
Alright.
hole was punched in, it's like, oh well, forget that plan. Like,
Ralgar's running deeper into the dungeon with his torch lit, so I'll describe what you see. Keep in mind that this entire description is amid the bee fight, so your time to assess the situation and do anything is limited, but I will tell you what you see. One sec, let me clean that up a little bit. Alright, Ralgar, I'm going to give you the description of the room that you just saw here. Please hold. Come on, PDF. Oh my goodness, this is bugging out so bad. Okay, there we go. Got it.
it's the bees.
It is the bees.
I would have
They're
gone
bugging
towards
it.
you, Bill, but I'm pretty sure bees has everyone locked in close.
Ralgar, you step into the next chamber with your torch lit. You are gazing upon a circular chamber containing a reflecting pool, at the center of which is a pagoda, where there is a wax figure of a sorcerer sitting atop a gold-plated, impressive-looking throne. Around it, at the perimeter of the room, are 4 beehives. The walls have been painted to depict an audience scattered among a garden. You are looking down into, it doesn't look like honey. This actually just looks like a flooded room full of water surrounding this like strange pagoda. There's beehives all around the perimeter of the room, buzzing but isolated and not apparently reacting to your presence. And there is this perfectly still wax figure of some sort of sorcerer in robes reaching out, and you can see that it has drooped somewhat with age and is perfectly still in a strange configuration with its face sort of halfway dripping off. And that is all you see. You've used a move action, so you have one action remaining, which can be a slow action or a fast action, which means you could go back into another room, you could draw a weapon, or you could cast a spell, or you could do a thing.
Can I tell how deep the water is?
It looks to be...
Can I see the floor through the water?
Yes, it looks to be less than a foot deep.
Cool, but I can't move again yet.
You can if you want to. You have one more move action, so you can go anywhere in the room you want.
Yeah, I'm splashing. I've heard the bees don't like water, so I'm like awkwardly doing that shallow water run towards the middle of the room there.
Okay. Go ahead and move yourself to where you want to be.
Right up to the sorcerer.
Okay, you're gonna go right up to there, and are you like laying in the water? Or are you just gonna splash through it and go to the pagoda, which is above the water?
I'm just hanging out in the pagoda, hoping that the water beats to fly over water.
You splash through the water, you go into the pagoda, you are now sitting shoulder to shoulder with a creepy-ass wax statue of some sort of sorcerer. It's giving you nightmares just looking at it, and you are surrounded by beehives, but all of them seem contained and buzzing and are not bothering you. And we are back around in the initiative to...
Growlgar. No, Grunrock.
Grunrock.
Do I have to disengage? Are they like on top of me, or can I just move?
You're surrounded by a bee swarm, but they don't have... You can move freely with the swarm. Against like a melee combatant holding a weapon who's trying to hit you, you have to disengage. I'm not going to require that against the swarm. You can sort of move out of the area where they are, and they're going to have to move slowly to follow you. A goblin full sprinting is going to be able to outrun a bee swarm easily.
Well, I'm full tilt running in this direction.
Okay, you run up into that room. That takes one of your 2 actions, and you have 1 action remaining.
Well, I tried to dodge last time, so I don't have another.
Oh, okay. So you just move into the pool room, and where in that room do you go? Do you go into the pagoda? Do you, like, lay down in the water? Do you run up against a wall?
Less than a foot of water and lay in the water.
Okay. You go into that room, and you lay in the water. I'm just putting a big red X on you to show that you're laying down. It does not mean that you're dead. And yeah,
you downed in less than a foot of water.
He's just laying down in the water going, oh god, there's bees everywhere. After you...
Veloz.
Is Veloz.
Punched that there statue of bones and didn't find anything. So I'm hauling ass. I'm going to take both of my actions to move here. And I'm going to move as far in this direction as possible.
Okay. You can take 2 move actions to move 2 zones, so that goes into that main atrium and then into the area over by the honey fountain. So you just full sprint past Vergello and go, see ya!
I'm just like, come this way! I got an idea!
Alright. And then we are on to initiative 8, which is Vergello. Your friend just went sprinting past you.
Are the bees still staying within that area?
They are swarming around that area. They are slowly moving in your general direction.
Okay, so they're slowly moving towards me.
Yes.
Is the skull around me?
The skull... What happened to the skull?
She yeeted it in this direction.
Yeah, the skull is in the room with you. She yeeted it into this room.
I'm gonna pick up the skull.
You pick it up. You're holding it. It's a hollow skull of some sort of giant humanoid.
Will I be able to move to the top of the pyramid to replace the skull?
With a successful move action, you could run up there and plant it hard if you want to.
all with one, with a slow action or whatever?
It's a move action to go into the next room, but if you succeed on a move skill roll, I will say that you can get up to the top and plant it this round.
All right.
If that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I will try that, but I do not have a great move.
If you fail, then you'll be stumbling up the sides of the pyramid and you're... Oh, yep, you got there.
Woo! All right, yes. I put the skull back on top.
You go up and you plant the skull at the top of the pyramid. There's still a swarm swarming around you. And we are on initiative 9.
This will be a good death for you, Bill. Very heroic.
It's a great death.
I tried to fix the problem. I got something else stupid.
It's okay, your friends messed up so bad that there's nothing you can do.
I got another stupid thing I'm gonna do.
We got Ralgar's turn. Ralgar, you see Vergello go up and plant the skull back in that other room, and you hear screams and just buzzing. And it's your turn again.
It's the bee's turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
make sure the
bees.
bees get their turn.
It's the bees.
All right.
I want
bees.
them to have a turn, but
It is the bees. The bees are swarming all around Vergello. They don't seem to be appeased by the skull being returned to where it came from. And Vergello, you can make a dodge roll, which is a move skill roll, to try to dodge the attack. If you want to forego one of the 2 actions on your next turn, or you can just take it.
I actually have fast footwork, so I get to dodge for free once every round in combat.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
It's still a move roll, so I only roll 3 dice, but
They got 1 success, so if you get 1 success on the dot... No, you don't.
can I push it?
You can push it. If you want to.
Man,
No.
I can't even get a skull. Like, I'm just trying to.
That's the worst possible outcome. There's not a skull or a success.
That's been happening to me. So I take 1 damage that bypasses armor.
Yeah, 1 sec. You take 1 point of damage bypassing armor and you feel funny. That's 2 people feeling funny.
Is it to strength?
Yeah. You're just stung all over by phantasmal bees, which is exactly how I imagine this campaign ending. And then we are on to
Ralgar.
Ralgar on initiative 10. Ralgar, you hear Vergello just screaming out in pain as he is swarmed with glowing ghost bees.
okay. Well, this,
I don't know if it's screaming out in pain as much as it's like, ow, damn it. I'm trying to swat ghost bees.
The
Sure.
description of the sorcerer sitting on a throne seems to match a mellified body. So, I'm gonna yank off one of the arms.
Okay. Ugh. You rip an arm off of the wax statue. The cloth dangles behind, and you're now holding this disfigured, ancient, dirty, drooping wax arm.
I've got that under one arm.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to start running out of the chamber and try to scoop Grunrock up in my other hand as I'm running.
Grunrock, do you allow yourself to be scooped?
I'm gonna wriggle a bit, because there's bees in that other room.
You two are close to the same size. Grunrock's a little smaller than you, so you can just drag him with you. Are you going to drag him with you into the next room?
I mean, as much as I can, yeah. And I mean, I want to get him back on his feet.
I'll let you move him into the next room with you without spending any of his actions, if that's what you want to do. Ralgar, if you put up a fight, you can make him leave you behind, but if you don't, then you can be in the next room. It's up to you.
I won't fight that bad. I'm
All right.
flopping around and splashing and being...
You pick up Ralgar and you drag him into the next room with you, and we
Grunrock. Ralgar picks up Grunrock.
are on to a fresh initiative
too
here.
similar.
Who was the one initiative?
Grunrock.
That's Grunrock.
Grunrock.
Now you carry me.
Grunrock, you're up.
Grunrock might be strong enough.
You're in this room with a bee swarm that is mercilessly attacking Vergello.
I'm gonna stand up and try and tackle Vergello out of the bees.
You're trying to drag him into the next room with you?
No. I want to get up.
You do that, and then I'll drag Veloz into the next room.
I want to get up and then just like linebacker tackle hug Vergello out of the bee swarm.
Okay.
It's trying to sting him to death.
Okay.
Do I need to make an attack or something? I don't know. how
Vergello,
this
do you fight being dragged by a goblin by the knees?
By the knees.
He's only so tall. He's gonna attack you and just try to drag you in a direction. Do you fight it or no?
I mean, no, I'm more concerned with the bees right now.
Grunwald grabs Vergello by the knees and you want to drag him into an adjacent room? That'll take your turn.
works. Yeah, as far as I can go. Somewhere.
Hey, wait. He gets to run before the bees get a turn. Drag me out of there.
He only gets to help one person and he's chosen Vergello.
That's fine. I'll just.
You
let
have
the bees
the honey
fire.
demon arm. I think you might be safe.
Velas, it's your turn.
And fire.
Oh. Yeah. Because to hold the arm and drag you, I had to put the torch in my mouth.
I don't really know what's going on anymore.
I'm on my way out. I think I have accomplished our goal.
You're up, Velas.
I
You
don't
hear
know.
a struggle coming from deeper into the dungeon. You see Grunwald dragging Vergello by the legs while he's shouting. You hear Ralgar
Does she?
shouting something.
Can she see in the dark?
No, actually, the torch is super far away. You hear a ruckus, and you see just floating, glowing ghost bees off in the dark somewhere.
I had an idea and it's pointless.
So was punching a beehive. I have a what?
I know that was not pointless. I was looking for loot.
Earned. This is earned.
Deserved is what you mean. What are you doing?
Don't. I am going to. Does it take 2 move actions to get into this room?
Yes.
Oh, she's gonna loot. Nice. Nice. Yeah, let's keep it going.
I mean.
Let's get the person with the lowest empathy to pull the thing out that does empathy poisoning.
Redhawk can have the same amount of empathy. I don't know. I'm just gonna stand right here and be like, "What are you all doing?"
Velas passes the turn, and we are on to Vergello.
All right, I'm gonna do something stupid. It's not. I'm not that stupid. But I am going to pull out my lyre, and I'm going to play that song that I sort of played with our giant friend to soothe the ghosts, thinking, you know what? Maybe it'll soothe ghost bees. It soothed like ghost people.
The ghost soothing song. Make a perform roll.
Yeah.
Do you have the title of it noted? I think I did at one point.
I didn't. I didn't get the title of that.
All right, go
I
ahead and
just-
play it. Go ahead and make the perform roll.
I got one success. Can I push it if I need to? Can I push it anyways, just for the willpower?
The swarm recedes back into the pyramid, just all of them like spiraling down in a giant funnel, and they disappear down into the beehive. And then they are just faintly humming from within it.
Ugh.
You used your
That
ghost
sucks.
appeasing song.
I need to write the name. If that has a name, I need to write the name of it down at some point.
I have it somewhere. Ralgar, you have watched the ghosts slowly spiral and recede down into the pyramid, and you are now standing on the opposite side of it from everyone else.
My jaw just goes slack with disbelief, and the torch goes clattering to the ground. Still lit. It's just like... And then I kind of hold the arm up, and I want to inspect the arm and see if I can see anything about it. And I also
Okay.
nibble at the pinky.
It is a wax arm. You nibble at the pinky. Nothing visibly happens, and it's nasty and gnarled and ancient looking.
What does it taste like? Does it taste like wax?
Oh yeah, it tastes like nothing.
Guys, I do not think this is the flesh of the Honeylich. It just tastes like wax.
He says from deep in the darkness where nobody can see him. Oh wait, he has a torch.
What did you say? Guys. All right, then I pick up the torch and I go to regroup with everyone.
All right.
Do you creep around the edge of the room?
3. Where's Velas at? Do we not
Velas?
see much
Velas is
past this?
sending beamings.
Velas, pay attention.
I'm in the other room and I yelled, "What's going on in there?"
Yeah, I couldn't hear you from all the buzzing.
Oh man, I really thought I had found the Honeylich.
The 2 people that got stung were who?
Me and Grunrock.
Got it. Sorry, go ahead.
Let's just explore further in. Let's go down that way.
I do think I was in kind of a rush. Maybe there's something under that wax figure. Oh, I did not tell you about the room that I went into.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Yeah, come look at it with me. It's cool.
Past the big hive with the big angry bees.
Yeah, I just walked past it once. It was fine. They went back to sleep. Someone, I don't know. Someone put them to sleep.
They're not angry anymore. Let's just go.
All right.
Walking through the map.
Creep around the ghost hive. Yep, they don't visibly react. Is Velas going with you? Alright. You are in a room containing a pool of water, and at the center of it is a gazebo with a wax statue with an arm ripped off of it.
Yeah.
And
I want to look like below the wax statue to see if there's any like pressure release plates or
Sure.
anything to suggest that the statue might be.
sure.
Can I help you look?
Yeah, you can both look together and you find no such thing. It seems to be sitting on a solid stone floor.
Is there? You said this was like a reflecting pool.
Yes.
Looking into the water, do I see anything different in the reflection versus what's on the ceiling?
There's nothing visibly on the ceiling. It's just rough stone.
Okay. And then anything about the beehives, their placements, whatever. I mean, they look equidistant in the image, and they look like they're the sort of a four corners kind of deal.
Just hives humming with bees on the 4 corners of the room.
Can I hold
Alright.
the wax hand?
Oh yeah, you can hold it here.
I'm gonna like hold the shoulder-ish part over his torch and try and get the wax a little melty and
Sure.
try and like push it back onto the statue. In a
You
different
stick it back on there. It's at a slightly different angle, so now he's like reaching out like
I like to think too that like you had it on there too long, so it's like a little bit shorter too.
It's now slightly janky looking, but it is back on there.
Is there any significance to the direction he's reaching? Is like the wall and that?
He's reaching in the direction of the entrance to the room.
And what happens if I just shove him into the water?
You just want to knock the whole statue over and shove him out of the pagoda?
Don't shove him yet. Does he look familiar in any way? Does he look like the benevolent figure or anything notable?
No, but Ralgar can make a lore roll.
Fine with me.
I've been intimate with
Shove him into the water.
Only Ralgar, and it requires 2 or more successes.
Oh yeah,
3, yeah.
3.
All right. He's got a slightly long nose and a slightly hunched posture, and you believe that this resembles descriptions you've heard of the great sorcerer Pagog.
Oh man.
You believe this to be a wax statue of Pagog.
Ooh. I am just struck with amazement. This matches I think this looks like the Honeylich, like Pagog, but I do not know. Could this actually be him? Is this his body, or is this just like a wax statue of him? I don't know much about mellification.
I would bet that it's just a wax statue of him. I imagine someone who wants to live forever is pretty arrogant and would want a lot of statues. Look at the elves. I mean, they're kind of arrogant and do things like that. No offense, Velas.
Again, none taken, kind of? I haven't seen many elven statues. And you're half elven. But whatever.
Yeah, but my mom's amazing.
I mean, she...
And he fights us. All we need is a pound of his flesh.
Sometimes the DM's internet randomly goes out for no clear reason. Is everybody here?
Is this a role-playing test?
This is totally a test. All right, I think I'm back. It's green and it's showing connected. Let's assume that this is gonna work here and we can finish it out.
When last we met our hero.
When last we left our heroes, the internet was working. All right. Right, where were we? You all just fled the room.
All right,
We
Took his hand.
Yeah.
Explore this way now.
Velas
Right.
and Rigello had a very heartfelt conversation, and they were leaving the room.
All right. Sorry about that, everyone. My internet just went out, and I have no idea why, but it seemed to have come back quickly, so we're gonna keep going. Right. So, what's the party doing?
We're exploring. We're doing it. We're gonna find this.
We're going that way.
We're gonna.
You going that way?
Yeah, we are.
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna have extra editing work this session. This is gonna be great. All right.
Okay,
I
you're
think
not doing
Ghost
anything,
Bees.
right?
I think Ghost Bees so far is my favorite thing about this dungeon. Just the idea of like Ghost Bees.
Yeah. That may have been my biggest reservation when I read this dungeon. All right. Ghost Bees. Right. You see just gaping corridors opening up ahead in every direction. You need to travel farther to reveal more.
Not a problem for this party.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
Let me reveal some stuff. You travel further up. All right. There is a... Here we go. All right. Description time. Here we go.
Give him the milk, Josh.
Give him the milk, Josh. This room,
Josh.
the vast chamber before you is positively draped in frayed and somewhat dusty curtains of black silk. There is a raised dais in the center of the marble floor that is topped with an enormous brass throne upon which sits a placid corpse gazing at the wall. Opposite from it, slightly slumped over in its massive throne. It is a huge throne atop a raised stone dais, slumped with a body slumped over, clad in black. Let me check one detail real quick before we move on.
What die do I roll for auto killing players?
If that does turn out to be the Honeylich, we should probably cut its head off just in case it tries to wake up when we touch it.
Is
Like,
that
our first
Raug-
touch? Our first touch should just be slice the head off.
Is that Adam's telling us this, or is that Raugar saying that?
That's Adam telling us this.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the final detail.
Then I guess Bill will ask Adam, is that how you kill a Honeylich? I mean, I really don't know.
I don't know. I just know that I need a pound of that flesh for Lynn, and it may as well be the head.
All right, this thing is lying on the throne, but slightly contrary to what you would expect, the throne is not faced straight forwards towards the center of the room. It is canted slightly off to the right so that it is faced towards the west side of the room, slumped over. So this is a huge raised stone dais with a throne that is set somewhat off center and face to the west, with this body just slumped down in it wearing black robes, and that is all you can see from where you are.
I wanna move up and try to see like the face and see if the face looks similar to the wax statue at all.
It does.
Towards the curtain.
It does with only minimal inspection. You look at it from a distance in your flickering torchlight and conclude that the answer to your question is yes. It looks like the same face.
I turn around and say, guys, I think this might be Pagog.
Is there anything behind these curtains that he's sort of facing towards?
You can go inspect more closely if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Go have a look.
I do not have anything sharp on me. I only have my staff and my torch. But if that is Pagog, and I think it might be, we need a pound of his flesh. I'll tell you this though, he might not really be dead. I don't know, but he might not.
Their hands holding anything?
Bill,
Yes.
you're studying the wall to the west?
Yeah.
It is covered in mosaics and roughly applied plaster that looks quite ancient, covered in a thick layer of dust. And when you inspect it closely, you see that entire west wall is covered in a patchwork of mosaic tiles that appear haphazardly placed, and you see faint, very thin gaps between the tiles through which you can see darkness. And you think that perhaps there was an opening in this west wall once that was haphazardly covered up with sort of a half-assed plaster mural, and that perhaps
Hey guys, I think
it could be broken or
there's a
removed
secret
from open.
wall over here. Just like in the other room, it's hidden behind plaster. Terrible job, honestly.
Oh, so maybe that is a trap, pointing at the body and turn to the wall and go, maybe we need to go through there.
It looks like it's easy to break down.
I mean, I don't see why we can't just shoulder it, see where it goes.
Does anybody have a weapon that would be conducive to smashing through plaster?
I have a staff.
Butt of a
It's
dagger.
probably not bad. Just poking, stabbing.
I
Who
have
wants
a healing
to do
bag.
it? Healing
I'll do
bag.
it.
Who wants to do it?
I'll do it.
You have a
I throw
tiny
you my
dagger.
staff.
I'll take his staff and just whack.
Velas takes Ralgar's staff and smashes through the wall.
Mhm.
All right. Velas,
Please.
you smash through the wall.
Bees.
I mean, what else is it gonna be, honestly?
If it's bees, Ralgar just needs to, not Ralgar, Grunrock just needs to run up and slice off an arm.
Velas, you smash through the plaster, and here's what you reveal beyond. One sec.
Seagulls with top hats.
Seagulls with top hats. That's exactly what I was going to say. You smash through, and you're only getting bits of this from the flickering torchlight behind you because Ralgar is carrying the torch. But you can see beyond an austere room of mostly black stone of the floor and the pillars. They're all of this like polished black stone, and there are wires hanging from the ceiling from which there appear to be mummified birds hanging from the ceiling. And as you smash your way through the door, you feel a light breeze on your face, like you've released just a wave of pressurized air, and there's just a continuous breeze through this opening towards you. You're not sure of the source, but there's just a continuous blast of air flowing through this opening towards your face, and all of the birds that are hanging from these little twines on the ceiling rotate and are facing at you, bobbing slowly, so that you have about a dozen of these little mummified birds slowly rotating and facing towards the door and bobbing up and down as though they're flying.
Cool. I am going to step right here. Do they turn?
You gonna step into the room? All right, one sec. You're gonna see a little more.
Walk closer to the doorway and hold the torch.
Okay, one sec. All right, you see more. All right, Veloz. You're now gazing into this open chamber. You see everything that I mentioned a moment ago, plus a little more. At the center of the room is a slightly raised stone dais, and at the center of that stone dais appears to be an upright sarcophagus that is standing in the center of the room, and it appears to be dipped in a pool of dark colored wax that is just puddled around the base of the sarcophagus, so that it's like upright stuck in just this black colored wax on the ground, and the mummified birds hanging from twine from the ceiling are all rotated to look at you. And as you walk away from the door and towards the north side of the room, the mummified birds all swivel a little bit as though they're following you, and they're all pointed at you no matter where you go in the room.
That's super fun. Ragar, I think I found your corpse.
Do these birds look like ravens?
Please hold.
I'm just glad that I was half right about seagulls.
You can't tell what type of birds they are because they're mummified.
Okay.
Come in and go up to the dais, and I'm just gonna start working my way way.
Okay. They are following you as you go. They're still rotating to face you. You can now see that the sarcophagus appears to be like a lid and a body to the sarcophagus, and it's sealed with black wax all the way around all of the creases in the stone. So it's a big, tall stone sarcophagus standing vertically, and it is sealed shut with black wax on all sides, and the birds are watching you in every direction as you go.
Now that Ragar's in the room, is this like a hallway?
Is what, a hallway? Ping again? Up there? No. I did a bad job revealing, but it appears to just be a flat wall there.
Flat square with like maybe a small alcove down here.
Yes.
Any curtains in this room with mosaics that I could maybe punch?
One sec.
I mean, I think we need to start melting the wax on that sarcophagus.
Well, yeah. One guy's
Yeah,
got
let's do it.
a torch.
Let's do it. I'm there. One person can be waxing, one person can be chipping away with a phantom dagger if we got one of those.
No, we don't have any more of those.
Someone can pull an arrow out of their quiver.
So are you kidding? If I have to roll a d8 to try and carve out wax, just yeah, man.
Fine, use your hunting knife.
There's one other detail, which is that around the base of the sarcophagus on the floor, you can make out that there appear to be wards or runes or something in white paint drawn all over the floor. As you get close to the center of the room, you can see that there's like circles with strange runic markings sort of spiraling inwards toward the sarcophagus, painted in white paint all the way around.
Mess up things.
Hey, Ralgar, you know a lot about magic. Does these wards, runes look anything familiar?
They might. Can I roll lore on the runes?
Yeah, just you.
Or... yeah. I don't know if it's lore or insight or...
It'll be lore.
lore.
You've never seen runes of this sort before.
Can I push that?
Yeah. You'll take at least 1 damage to your intelligence. I think it's intelligence.
It's wits.
Wits, that's the one.
Oh, man.
Total fail. You take a point of damage to your wits, you gain a willpower point, and and you learn nothing from studying the runes except that they look strange and suspicious.
I do not know anything of these runes, but I do know that when I see things like this, it usually means someone is protecting something important.
Well, this does look like if we were going to bury a Honeylich. I imagine this is where he'd be. Have at it, buddy. I'll slap him on the back.
Hold on, let me look at a spell here. Now that I have a willpower.
Man, I wish I had those. I'm not even good at failing things.
I'm looking to see if sense magic might help us learn anything more about what these runes would do.
Sense magic.
Yeah. If you want to know more about
It's a rank 1 spell.
it's whenever
You automatically sense whenever someone uses magic within short range, or if an item you hold is charged with magic or power. If you want to know more about what kind of magic is involved, you must cast a sense magic spell. With a successful sense magic roll, I would let you roll a fresh lore roll to study something if you want to.
Yeah. If I had another willpower, I could use Dispel. Or well, try to.
Quick, fail something else.
That's how it goes. Oh boy. So, I guess it's. Do we just go for it here, or are we just gonna turn and leave?
I mean, we're here.
Go for it. We're here for this.
We're here. All right, I'm gonna step up and start trying to crack away at that wax and we'll see what happens
All right.
to me.
As soon as you step over,
Alright.
as soon as you step over the white painted runes, they begin to glow with dark reddish sort of light, and the paint on the floor slowly peels away and flutters into the air in little pieces, like whatever rune was painted here in this white paint is consumed in the process of whatever is triggering, and all of the
Not like that.
all of the mummified birds on the ceiling awaken and start to spin and flap their wings, and they all start to shriek and flap and fire shards of bone, and they disintegrate themselves as the shards of their bones go flying down like needle-like daggers towards Velas, Vergello, and Ralgar. The three people in the room are all going to get attacked with shards of bone being flung at them.
I choose to dodge. With
Yeah.
I also choose to dodge.
I would also like to
Reaction.
All right, everybody roll dodges. I'm going to roll Ralgar, Vergello, Velas in that order.
What is dodge? That's just move,
It's
right?
just a move roll, yeah.
This is gonna hurt. Yep. Can I push it?
You don't need to, they missed you.
And so we have against Ralgar, they got no hits, so your roll does not matter. They've just straight missed. Against Vergello, they got one hit, and you got no successes, so you're going to take 1 damage from shards of bone. It's damage to your strength. Oh, sorry, Velas. Velas takes 1 hit. Oh, but gets 1 success. So Velas, they get 1 hit, but you dodge it. Vergello, they get 2 hits, and you get no successes, so you're going to take 2 damage from shards of bone.
To strength,
To strength.
I have to push. Because I've already taken 1 point of damage.
You've taken a damage to strength. All right, this
Yeah.
is going to break your strength and cause you a critical injury unless you get more off of the push. So go ahead.
Oh my goodness, I got 1 success.
All right, you exactly negate it then. So that's everybody. The birds are gone. They are disintegrated, and all that's dangling from those wires on the ceiling is little strips of cloth, and they're still blowing gently in the breeze towards the door that you've opened up. Grunral completely avoided the attack by staying outside of the room while this was happening. Ralgar,
How many rings of runes do I see?
none. You stepped through
so
them,
all evaporated.
and that triggered, and the runes dissolved away, and now they are no longer visible, and you're standing next to the sarcophagus.
Just like holding the torch on one side of the wax, trying to melt some of the seal, and just digging with my claws.
All right.
Really.
You're melting away. You're melting away the wax, digging away with your claws as you loosen it up and scrape it away. And You get about 2/3 of the way around the seam, and the sarcophagus goes. Uh-oh. And there's a little bit of like air pressure sound, and then the sides of the sarcophagus blow apart. And one smashes into one pillar and another smashes into another pillar, and what is standing in the center of the room is this figure, this undead skeletal figure. It's like a super tall, like a 6.5 foot tall skeleton wearing tatters of black cloth with honey just pouring off of its body, and its eyes are glowing from within with a reddish light, and it turns and it looks around the room and it says, "Submit or perish," and we'll end the session there.
Aww. If we didn't have a stupid witch conversation, I'm just kidding. I'm playing. I'm glad we're calling it there because I'm terrified.
Its voice echoes through the chasm as though it is a chorus of multiple voices, and it is hideous and horrifying. And
So you mentioned it's a skeleton with honey. Is there no flesh there?
there's black cloth over a large portion of its body. It looks like there's flesh. Yes.
Good, because we need a pound of that.
I was gonna say it could be too, like the honey that's on it might have similar properties.
Yeah, there's it's a mostly skeleton dripping with honey with big slabs of flesh on it as well. And we will end right there.
What plan we come up
Makes you wonder who that other guy in the next room is.
Yeah.
That's Dave from accounting.
This is just a decoy. All right.
Probably some fanatic or favored.
We're going to start with an initiative draw at the start of the next session, which is always the best way to start a session.
Just mark me as 10.
And let's do experience that you'll never get to spend because you're all dead. First point. Did you participate in the game session? One experience. Did you travel through at least one hex that you had not visited before on the game map? No. You all stayed here this time. Did you discover a new adventure site? No. Did you defeat one or more monsters? No as well.
You didn't defeat them.
You say ghost. Look.
It's not. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Did you find a treasure worth a gold or more? Also no. Did you build a function on your stronghold? No. Did you activate your pride? Nobody. Did you suffer from your dark secret? Nobody. Did you risk your life for another player character?
I mean, Grunrock
I tried
to tackle Vergello out of the bees.
Yeah, but I didn't need that. I could have double moved out myself.
Ralgar thought Grunrock was drowning.
I put the skull in hopes to stop the swarm from moving.
I'm going to go no on this. And then for did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? I'm going yes to Vergello for playing the ghost song to appease the swarm of ghost bees. It was a perfect application of a past thing that came up. So Vergello gets a bonus as very low XP this time. I have a suspicion that next time, if people aren't dead, they might get more.
Strong suspicion.
And that'll be it. I think everybody only gets like 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah, I only got 2.
For
Everyone else got
Just 1 or 2. Yeah, that's a very low XP system. Well, that'll do it. So everybody, thanks for watching. I'm sorry that the internet crapped out for a couple of minutes in the middle of the session there, so I disconnected. But we're starting the next session with an initiative roll. And we will go from there. So thank you all for watching. Please follow, subscribe, like, all that, social media stuff. We'll be playing, let me see. So 2 weeks from today is the 24th, and a bunch of us are going to be on a vacation together. So we might actually be 3 weeks until our next session, longer than the usual gap. Generally, we play every other week. I'm moving across the country, and a few of us are going to the beach. So I think it's actually going to be 3 weeks until our next session, the 31st, potentially. I'm going to post... I'm going to put the... live stream announcement on YouTube so that everybody knows the next time we're playing, and I'm gonna post a community post with our upcoming schedule tentatively we're playing 3 weeks from today, which is longer than our usual gap, but that'll be on the 31st of this month because we all have a lot of things going on. But we will be back soon. I will post on YouTube with the upcoming dates, but please like, subscribe, and we'll be posting this session on YouTube sometime in the next few days. So, yeah, apologies for the technical difficulties tonight, and thank you for watching. Does anybody else have anything else to say before I kill it?
I love you.
We all love you. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.